Things. This broadcast is not intended for children. There will be strong language and adult themes. So, welcome to the 5th annual Christmas Marathon. It is now officially Christmas Day at the International Dateline. So, welcome to the 5th annual Christmas Marathon.
Sorry.
It is now. Yeah, I had the same thing. I had to go back in because the YouTube won't let me mute it until I've actually started the stream.
Oh, you can solve that, Purple. You start another stream and you mute that, and then when you open up your new window with your stream on it, it'll automatically be muted.
Yeah. I knew that. I just don't think of doing it.
But Jen, you're forgetting something. It's not a proper stream until there's been an audio problem.
Oh, yeah, every stream has audio problem.
So now it's an official stream.
Okay, Greg's got his calendar inverted.
Greg, I ate the bunny.
Was it delicious?
Yes, of course.
Was it
Very
chocolate?
tasty. I ate the bunny with a little cat on the side.
Nice.
Merry Christmas.
Actually, a larger turnout than I was expecting for this hour. I see Skits Crasher and Jinzu.
Oh, wow. Holy guacamole.
Yep, and Doc Fearsome and Jeff and Beck.
Now you folks out there in the chat, you better send like a text message or some kind of DM or something to all your friends out there that are worldly and out there somewhere and are hanging out, because we'd like to get more than just the regulars here.
Yep.
We'd love to have you, but gee whiz, we'd like to get some new people. There's got to be more than 5-6 lonely people here.
And Critical Cupcake. Yeah, well,
Hey,
this is a really good turnout for the Kickout stream.
Mm-hmm. Yes, well, I mean, last year's when I did a Christmas stream as part of this marathon, that was my first ever live stream, and it ended up with like 100 odd views, which I think, considering that I'm under 1,000 subs, wasn't too bad for a start. So yeah, this marks pretty much exactly a year from when I first started doing live streams.
Yeah.
Wow.
My sub count had plateaued and has actually been dropping off lately.
Yeah,
So,
mine has too, but I haven't been doing any content. So
Yeah, well, I topped out at 565, and I'm down to like 543 now.
Aww.
Yeah, but it also depends on how active they are. If they're generally watching the videos, that's good. If you have a lot of subs but they don't do anything, so it's all relative at the end of the day.
Yeah, well, I am still surprised that my normal weekly streams that generally don't have more than a dozen people watching it when it's live, but go back after a week and it's got 50, 60 views. So I just don't know what's interesting enough that we've got 50 people watching it afterwards.
That's probably what's interesting.
Yeah, those are the masturbators, the people who just don't need any purpose to watch. They just want to have you there so you can, be their friend.
Well, somebody has told me that.
I was trying to say something nice, and of course, I'm in the wrong spot for that.
Somebody has told me that if you're on the internet, someone has jerked off to you, and
I hope so.
yeah, I'm actually not sure how I feel about that.
Well, you guys got it easy. You have the accents, so there'll be a lot of people doing you guys.
Get it out there, sexy people.
Oh gosh, Jen, it's really nice to see you.
I'm wondering how long I have to be back here before I get my Minnesota accent back.
I just broke my microphone stand trying to tighten it up.
Oops.
I might be off audio for a little bit whilst I sort this out.
Yeah, I was away from Minnesota for 12 years and lost my accent, but
what accent do you have now?
I don't really think I have any now. I think it's just kind of gotten too generic. But when I first moved to New York, everybody there thought I was Canadian.
Coo, 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 coo. Hey, it's the Great White North.
Well, and actually, from what I've gathered, at least what most Americans think of as a Canadian accent, probably is something from, from like either Alberta or Manitoba. And the Canadians call Alberta the Texas of Canada, so
Oh, that's an insult.
it is. It's terribly degrading. But apparently Americans have picked like the most hick Canadian accent to be what they consider Canadian.
Oh, that cannot stand. We have to figure out a way to change that. Why don't they call it the Alaska of Canada?
And we have a stool in the side chat.
Oh, wow. How about that? We got legitimate worldwide
Hey,
coverage
Stool.
right now. How about that?
Yep. Yeah, we've got at least 3 different continents represented here.
Woohoo.
Oh, Critical Cupcake was
I'm
there
gonna have
too.
to find a different microphone now because I can't find the spare stand for this one, and it's too thick to put in a normal one.
Do you have gaffer tape, Jen?
No, I don't have any tape. I meant
Wait.
to buy some more, and I forgot. So
I
I
thought
do have
every
another
band had a
microphone
roll
though. I
of
can
gaffer
swap mine.
tape.
I
I
have
can
some.
swap
I'll
my
bring it
phone.
over.
All right, I'll be back in a sec.
Yeah, we had Jeff and Amber in the side chat representing the UK before Stool got here, so
Oh, I suppose I should take a look at who's all there.
Yeah, still, I think represents his own side of the globe when he shows up. He's got his own unique presence that he brings. As do a lot of us.
well, he has been trying to start his own island nation. He just needs an island.
Oh, Native Atheist is here too.
Now, see,
Yeah,
I had a
this-
plan to start my own island nation. I'm going to build the island out of Lego, so anyone who donates 500,000 Lego pieces can be a citizen.
Ah,
It's going to sink.
I would probably have very much fun building my own part of the island.
And wouldn't the beach be rather painful?
No, you
Well,
just
yeah,
crash
you don't
it
want to walk
into
around
another
barefoot.
island, and then you can step off onto that other beach and then come back.
Yeah, and actually, I did consider the sinking problem. That basically we're going to build it as, kind of a huge inverted dome and just fill up the bottom with all of the empty water bottles.
so a bowl.
The concave earthers will have a fun day.
Well, actually, that's kind of interesting. So you'd have to glue all the Legos together for permanency.
Blasphemy!
I'm sorry. Otherwise, you're no better than Italy. You'll just have a new government every week or two.
Yeah, but gluing it together defeats the purpose. The idea of building it out of Lego is that, you can just kind of restructure your
Rearrange
neighborhood anytime you want to.
Nah, it's got to have a strong base.
Now,
Well, no. You
forget-
get one of those really big base mats for Lego. You know how they have, like, you can get the little boards that you can build on? You get a really big one of those, and then you build everything up.
I don't know. I'm not convinced yet.
But also, I think Jeff might be backstage.
Oh.
But maybe he's got ideas. But yeah, no, I think it'll work. You just need a really big base. Maybe you can make a custom one that's concave as well, and then all the problems are sorted.
Yeah.
We can add whatever we want to it, and you've got somewhere to put all the empty water bottles.
Sir Little Wolf has shown up.
It's one of the things I dislike about StreamYards is the way it sets things up. I can see the first 5 people, and then the people who come on after that are always hidden under the toolbar. So
I don't think I've actually had more than 5 people on, so
Yeah, if I don't catch it making the audio tone, if people are talking when somebody comes in, then somebody can sit there for like 20 minutes and I won't be aware they're there.
So okay, I'm gonna count 1, 2, 3, 5,
But scritches are always good.
6.
Why are we counting?
I can't count almost a doctor because you're on cam. I can't. What do I do? I'm stuck.
I'm almost always on cam. I think the last time I wasn't was because I had COVID. See, I think the last time I didn't show my face on a stream.
You mean you were afraid that you were going to spread COVID over the camera?
No, I just didn't feel like putting the camera on. But fortunately, this time I didn't feel like dying because it was the second time round, so not as bad. Oh, things are about to get wild.
Oh,
Yeah.
Very
there
wild
goes the
indeed.
neighbourhood.
Well, that's
Also, no, never mind. I'm going to keep that comment to myself.
I missed most of the marathon last year because I had what I thought at the time was just a flu, and turned out it was COVID.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it was like
That's
2
rough.
days after Christmas that I got diagnosed with COVID, and
Oh,
at
gross.
least I was double vaxxed at the time, so I didn't end up in the hospital. But the whole month of January was miserable.
Coffee. Yeah, that's what I should have done. Make coffee. No, that would have been better.
I made tea.
Girl got lucky because she had just had her 3rd shot like a week before we were exposed, so she was over it in a week. I had been scheduled to get my 3rd shot, and that's when they found out I had it, because I was supposed to go in 2 days later to get my 3rd shot.
Yeah. Well, I'd actually had 3 when I had mine. It took me a bit over a week, but yeah, second time round, it's like a bad cold for a few days. It was much better. But yeah, that's 3 doses and then catching it 2 times.
Well, I'm up to 4 shots now, and I wound up getting 2 shots for the monkeypox now.
I had my first 2. This goes all the way back to last year. I had my first 2 shots in like February and late March or early April, something like that. And come November, I had COVID. It lasted a month. I thought I was going to fucking die. It was just horrible. They gave me that monoclonal antibody, and that was an absolutely miraculous drug. You could physically feel yourself getting better within the first 24 hours.
Well, when they diagnosed me, they referred me to get that. But you have to apparently get it like in the first 10 days is what they were saying. And it took the clinic so long to make an appointment for me that I was outside of the time window before they could schedule an appointment. So at that point, they said, sorry, you just got to suffer through it.
Maybe you were on the official list of who we're going to let die.
There's an official list?
Well, of course.
Well, in the U.S., it definitely is. I'm too poor for them to bother with keeping me alive.
I didn't realize Jeff was here. Greetings.
All right, neither did I.
You lazy fucking striking bastard.
Oh.
Yeah, well, here we go then, Stu. See, here's the thing. All these other atheists in the community, right, they've been doing jack shit for the war on Christmas. I'm actually stopping people from getting their presents this year, so the rest of you need to raise your fucking game.
Proper Scrooge. Well done. I congratulate you. Also, I bring you all good news. And almost a doctor. I heard what you said. Okay. I will use the C word today, and you might be the first victim of it, okay? Just going to say.
I would consider it an honor.
Good. Merry Christmas, you've come. So, I thank you. We have to do this many times today, I think. Or is that tomorrow? I don't know. This is water. It's not. This is water. I showed Purple something very, very secret yesterday. And I might get it out again on stream today. Just saying.
Oh, you're going to go whipping it out in front of everybody?
I might show it to the people. Yeah, Stephanie, relax.
Yeah.
Don't get excited.
Stool, I have a question, please.
Oh fuck! Here we go. Go on, you cunt.
Is that a giant apple behind you?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. I bought it yesterday at the Giant Apple Boutique. It's fucking heavy, I'll tell you that. But I like
I want to see you take a bite, honey.
No, I sit on it. I sit on it and bounce on it and pretend I'm the king of Apple Land.
You know,
You
well,
have to
this
be
community.
careful.
I'll be careful because this community hasn't got the best record of people sitting on bouncy balls.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
what I
very-
was thinking. It
this
could
is very
burst in the middle of the stream.
Yeah.
That's
When did that
classic.
happen?
That
Oh,
was
it's
an
just about a year or
Jen-
two ago. That now, isn't it?
Jen,
Go to
you're
my-
almost completely unhearable.
Okay. I'll see if I can pull the
Go-
volume up. Give me a sec.
Go to my lovely little YouTube channel. I think I've got one of those, and there's a little clip of it happening, and it is. I apologize for using the word literally, but it is literally one of the funniest things ever.
Yep.
Well, no, it's the 7th funniest thing ever to have ever happened in history.
Now
What
I'm
were the
curious
first
as to what
steps?
sort of things, make the first 6.
Is that any
You
better?
don't know.
That's a little bit better, Jen.
Okay. I can't
It is.
find my
It's
other mic.
hilarious.
Oh, it's gone quiet again now. But
Yeah.
I like to watch it sometimes when I've not got any pants on. It's very funny.
No pants on.
Can I just point out, about 15 minutes ago, I did not have any pants on. I was up.
Stool, do you ever
until
put
about-
pants on?
I was up until about 6 a.m. listening to very loud Christmas music, being an annoying cunt. And so I kind of overslept. And I looked at my phone and Perp says, "Oh, going live in half an hour." And I thought, well, fuck, I'd better put some pants on because it's Christmas. So here I am. I've got my pants on.
Wait, you actually have to put pants on when you're doing a stream? I thought any time you're sitting down in a stream, you don't need them.
No, I'm British. It's the law. You have to
Ah.
have pants on. The Queen said so. She made that law.
Yeah, but
Because
she's dead
famously-
now. She's
I
either
know,
dead
but
now or in your closet. One of the two.
Just an FYTMI. Yeah, I've never felt it was required.
Yeah, but very famously, one of the things that she did, she never ever streamed without her pants on. So we keep that tradition alive.
Did she ever stream without apples?
Do you like my big apple? It's very glorious and it's making me feel hungry.
It is lovely. I just want to
What's
know when
all-
you're going to make applesauce.
What's all the white stuff on it?
Shut up,
Cocaine.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't ask. I'm sorry.
shit.
filthy
I'll
person.
say the late Queen did stream without apples, but they said that apples things. That's a thing the new king's brought in.
Mm.
So,
He invented apples in 1973.
Oh,
Not
so
many
the
people know that.
King Chuck?
Berkeley windows.
I
Claire!
can definitely say I didn't know that.
Mm. Most people think that apples were invented in Belgium in the 50s, but that's an urban myth.
We've got the legend of Johnny Appleseed, which seems to kind of imply it was a little before then.
Johnny Appleseed lived in like the 1500s?
Well, no, colonial America.
Oh, I thought that was the 1500s. I'm sorry.
He was painting crab apples, wasn't he?
It could be. Crab apples are pretty
I
good.
think it was, but I know he went round planting a lot of them so that future generations would get more choice of apples so they could grow them. Because, yeah, apples mess with their DNA every time they try and make a new tree.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's actually, he is credited with actually starting a few new varieties.
Yeah, you plant a seed from any apple you buy and you have no clue what you're going to get. It's
Yep.
kind of a weird fruit.
Yeah, which is why what you actually have to do if you want to grow like an orchard of apples where they're all going to be the same, you actually have to start growing apple trees. You can do it from any seed. Then you cut the stump, like back down to the stump. Then you take a bit of the tree that you do like and you put a bit of that in the stump and then it grows out of that. So you're actually basically cloning the same tree.
Grafting.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, otherwise they do this weird thing where they switch up a lot of their genes every time, so that's why the fruit always tastes so different. So you can go from really nice and sweet to super sour just by planting the seeds from the same apple that was really sweet. It apparently makes things very interesting, but for me, I'm like, well, someone else can worry about that.
There you go. There you go. Still, you didn't know there was so much science that went into making a can of Strongbow, did you?
I literally did not interrupt him then. I know we're all thinking the same thing. None of us have ever felt so fucking aroused when somebody talks about.
I got an important question. Claire, what time zone are you in?
Claire Bear is in the side chat.
Oh, fucking side chat. It's all the way over there, man. Fucking math pig.
Holy fuck, are we getting all these people?
I will go and look at the other monitor.
Yeah. Goddamn morning.
Yeah,
I would have thought
I was
so.
really
You would have
worried
preferred
that
bobbing. Sorry, Perps.
No, I was really worried that I might actually wind up being in here alone at this hour. So
okay, so we got,
heaps of us.
The whole.
Is that any better, by the way, or is it too loud now?
Yeah,
it's much better.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
now
that's
you're in the
great.
right range.
Okay.
You're back
Right
in the club.
Cool. Yeah.
So we've got all the U.S. time zones covered with a body. Then you said Skits Crasher was here, right? Didn't you earlier?
Yep.
Yeah. Then we got. How about that?
Country. Wait, does Skits cover Mountain Time? I can't remember.
Well, see,
Yeah.
I said normally I would be working at this time of day, but as Stuhl pointed out, I'm a lazy striking bastard. So
Tommy.
Well, even on Christmas Eve, you'd be working.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Poor bastard.
I've done that in the past. I used to work in a fish shop, and they're just like, 13-hour 13-hour shift will give you 15 minutes break. You're like, that's not legal, but it's like, if you want your money, I'm just like, damn it.
It's an interesting time of year. It's a very interesting Christmas, because here in England land, I'm not in England. Fuck. Here in the UK, we do love our posties very much. We really do.
Yeah.
But we've also got the posties doing the striking things, commies, and the nurses, for fuck's sake. Nurses. And the paramedics, ambulance people, what have you. It's a fucked up country. Very fucked up.
Well, we've had a lot of issues with trains this year.
Oh, we've also got trains.
Oh, we've had them as well. Yeah.
Oh, as in deliberately causing chaos or striking because of various deals. I'm not going to get into the politics.
It was the.
I've actually been on.
It was the railways who started it all. Yeah, it was the railways are the first ones to start striking in the UK. So
we've all got. The BBC have published a handy guide to when everybody's striking. It's a calendar when everybody's on strike.
You think about this
though, but more depressing.
Isn't it a case that in the UK your trains have problems regardless of whether they're striking though?
Yes.
Jen, we can't talk too much because Australia has the same problem.
Oh, I can personally vouch for this.
Don't know what Perth is like, but Sydney.
To be honest, Perth isn't too bad. Having said that, I was stuck on a train for 3 hours that caught on fire.
Wow.
I don't use trains.
I'm like, the train's on fire. Let us the fuck off the train. But no, we had to wait on the train until they put the fire out because the fire was outside of the train.
I wish I'd had a documentary crew following me around.
Yeah.
I was doing the
Doesn't the train have any doors on the opposite side so they could let all the passengers out on the side that wasn't on fire?
My guess is they didn't want to let people out on the track because of some weird law or rules that state you can't let people out.
Because there's two train tracks side by side. And if you let people out on the track, there's a risk that they might get run over by the trains that are still operating in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Well, then it's worse than that logic joke. It's
when I was doing my journey to this land back in whenever it was, October, it involved, before getting on the big bouncy boat, Stephanie, big boat, before getting on that, I had to catch about 6 trains. And in the UK, if you've ever planned a train journey, it's stressful as fuck because your train has to arrive at the next place with time for you to get to the next station to get on another train. And it's fucking stressful as fuck. It really is. And I was in Kent. That's where I started my journey. And I walked to the train station, and the first fucking train on my epic journey was fucking cancelled. And it was a replacement fucking buzz. I'm swearing too much. I apologize. Now, I'm going to do some science for you now. Buzzes are not as fast as trains. That's just basic science. And I was pooing in my pants. Literally, the first train was cancelled. That's fucked everything up. The UK is not good at trains.
So now I'm just trying to think of ways to get buses faster than trains, and now I'm just thinking of strapping giant rockets to a bus.
Oh no, I didn't.
Sweet.
I didn't. Has Musk not
Attach
invented
lasers
that
so
yet?
they can shoot the other traffic.
Why don't we
I
do
actually
a buzz
probably wouldn't trust
But
Musk
it's on
to be
rail.
playing around with public transport. Not given what's happened to some of his cars recently. I would actually like to arrive at my destination.
Wasn't he trying to?
I would like to know why Still thinks it's okay to blame the entire United Kingdom on his lack of bowel control. You know.
Well, that's a good point.
Not the entire United Kingdom, Janie, just National Rail. Which is probably a fair complaint, isn't it? Because I've heard stories about National Rail meals. So
to be fair,
do any rails, do any rail companies or networks or whatever you want to call it run on time? And anywhere in the world?
Singapore, I know that if the train is late by more than, I think it's like, is it 3 minutes? I could be, it's been ages since I heard it. If the train is late, they actually hand letters out to people to take to work because it is so rare that they actually give them proof the train is late to show bosses. Japan's got a reputation for them running on time, although they also have a reputation for being literal human sardine cans at times, particularly if Tokyo. So I know they're two places that have very reasonable trains. I am not sure elsewhere. I mean, when the Germans invaded France in 1940, they actually had timed the entire invasion down to the train timetables being by the minute.
I was going to say, historically, you got to be a little wary of nations where the trains run on time.
Okay, so
no, they didn't run in time that much in Italy, despite what everyone thinks of that particular dictator. They never actually made the trains run on time, and one of the reasons the invasion of France was so successful, and probably the reason the trains actually ran on time, is that all the soldiers were high on meth. They were basically zonked for the whole.
So we say we got that. So Singapore and Japan run their trains on time. And what about real countries?
Well, Australia wouldn't count if we did, so but we don't.
I was just hoping to get anybody from Japan or Singapore who's listening to speak up on the chat. Then I'd apologize.
Well, yeah, small island countries don't count.
Yeah, hang on a minute. Where were all the people from Singapore in this stream? You racist. What, did you not invite any of them?
Well, sure. I sent invitations to everyone.
Do we not know any people?
Haven't they gotten there yet? Fine, their train works, but their mail doesn't.
Well, I think the problem was we sent the invitations out on the train, and apparently the trains don't run across the Pacific very well.
Oh, stupid.
Oh, someone in the chat's just mentioned Switzerland, and that I can believe. They do have a reputation for being precise, and they also have a historical reputation for they also do have a reputation from commandeering trains at a certain point in history. It's like, where did we end up with all this gold stamped with certain
Jesus
paraphernalia?
30 minutes on Christmas Eve and already you're doing the Hitler. Jesus Christ.
I haven't said
sounds
the
like a
name.
dance for the 50s, doesn't it? Doing the Hitler.
I'm not actually going to
Let's go
mime
do
out
it.
what I think the dance would look like because I would like
I
the
think
stream
I've
to
got-
stay up.
I think I've got a good idea, but but we'll leave it to imagination.
Yes, I think that's
You
fair.
don't
I
actually
just
have
love
to
my
leave it.
history, so and I just know a bit more about World War II. So
I've got experience on singing Nazi songs live on the YouTubes. And
No.
you're okay with it. You're okay.
Do the
Nice
Nazis
look
have
there,
songs?
Doctor. Nice stand.
Stuart, are you like on some like mission already, like to like make sure every stream on this like this 24-hour loop gets taken down?
That's my job, man. You see, unlike you lazy commie, I'm working today.
Yeah.
he's working on destruction.
If
Yeah.
if you want an impressive feat of trains, in World War II, the Russians dismantled and shipped 6 submarines by trains to the Black Sea.
Really?
Just because they didn't have a fleet there.
Yeah.
The Russians did a lot more than just move the submarines, though. Moving a submarine is hard because you can't dismantle the whole thing. It's very hard because they're meant to be a pressure hull. So taking them apart, moving them is a feat. The Germans did do it, but they only did a few of them into the Black Sea. The Russians, though, moved entire factories. When the invasion happened, they realized, oh, the Germans are about to take all of our industry. So they issued an order to basically dismantle a whole bunch of factories and move them up to the Urals or move them out to the Urals because they knew the Germans or bombers would never reach them. So they physically just moved everything out of range. And they're like, we don't care if it's in basically Siberia. It's protected. And it did take them a few months, but they managed to move entire like tank plants and have them running again in a number of months. And so when the Germans made the last major push at the Battle of Kursk, they're like, where the hell did Russians get this many tanks? And then they're like, we kept destroying them and they kept coming in, and they're like, oh,
well,
their industry's actually outdone us. And
part of the problem is that the Russians did not take careful enough notes because they dismantled tractor factories, and when they reassembled them, they were tank factories.
Yes, the Stalingrad tank plant, I believe, was a tractor plant, wasn't it?
That explains the Russian Lada, isn't that it? The Lada, the car.
Although at the moment, apparently the Russians are bringing back old T-70s, which are Soviet Union era tanks, because they don't have enough. They were not very.
This is all very interesting and whatnot, but I've got some good news to bring you all now. And because I love you all so dearly, I'm going to let you be the first to hear it. Now, the plan was today, I had to go to the shop, which is about 5 minutes away, because a strange lady who I've never met before in my life was going to give me some food. Now, that sounds dodgy, doesn't it? Yes, it does.
Very.
Yeah, kind of. But I've just received word that the strange lady, who I've never met before in my life, is going to come here with the food.
Stool, just because she said to you that she's going to let you eat her does not mean that she's bringing food.
Muff pie.
So this is...
I don't know. I think that I'm more than a little disturbed by the idea that there is a woman trying to lure Stool.
Yeah. Didn't you learn about Stranger Danger still? Does she have a van, and does she let out music? And
I live dangerously, as you all know. I tweak the nipples of fear.
She's probably Welsh.
Oh no! What? Fuck off! Well, I'm not touching that shit then. I'm allowed to say that because my surname is Welsh. So, fuck off, all of you, and Merry Christmas.
So's my surname.
I don't.
Mine
I
too.
can't remember what your surname is, and I'm not going to say it if I did, because I'm not necessarily saying that I might still be a little Christmas festivity.
Just
spirit.
play it safe. Jeff's surname is Jones.
Jeff's
Yeah.
surname's Scummer, don't you know that?
Yeah. They say my surname, actually. I don't make a secret of it. So
It's probably in my phone, but I honestly can't remember it.
Well,
I'm not saying say it or anything.
With my name change, one of the ideas I had was I was considering changing my last name to sans surname.
Stool?
Insert last name.
Yes.
Or do like Bobby Tables.
Yeah, I'm going to have to be a bit more careful about my name after I get it legally changed, because my old one was so generic it didn't matter. Even if somebody knew my name in the city I live in, Google came up with 600 results and none of them corresponded to me.
I think PurpleRhymesWithOrange is a pretty distinctive name.
Oh yeah, because of people sending things off of my Amazon wish list, I had to talk to the building manager and I had to actually get Purple put as a name on my mailbox.
Oh, wow.
Because they kept getting confused about which apartment these belong to.
I did a search with that, how many people in the United States have your name? And there were 9 people that shared my name, and I have met 2 of them.
Wow.
That's weird.
Speaking of Amazon wish lists, you ignorant fucks.
Yeah,
Nothing this year. Nothing. I hate you
Aw.
all.
Well, you didn't bother showing up to Jeff's Cunt of the Year nominations.
I had it. It was in my head to do Australia, Jen, but I couldn't quite make it because, as you know, I'm famous and popular, so I had to do another thing.
You're going to make it. You're going to make it to the award ceremony, though, aren't you?
Oh yes, I remember last year's very well. What day will it be or date?
Well,
yeah, we haven't decided.
I actually missed it. Is there? Could I have a summary of some of the nominees?
Yeah, I wasn't around for the nomination ceremony because the Brits always do things 6 hours too early.
Okay, well we've got we've got several categories. I think for the international Cunt of the Year, it's the J.K. Rowling, Vladimir Putin, Matt Walsh, and who's the other one? Damn it, there's another one.
I can't remember. Bring it up. Bring up the list. That's easiest.
Yeah, this one. Why am I? I'm forgetting it. Yeah, it was Walsh, Putin, J.K. There was one other, and I don't know why it's escaping me. So.
Do you not have a certain South African Emirate?
Okay, Putin, Elon Musk, of course.
Elon. Of course, it was Elon.
How could we? That's just because we want to forget Elon. Everyone wants to forget Elon.
Yeah. And then we got with the community Cunt of the Year, which is sort of people either in or around sort of peripheries of your people we've dealt with.
It's
and we got the nominations are Eric Hovins. It's Eric Hovins. Damn it.
John Richards.
Well, yes. John Richards, Matt Powell, and who was the last?
Dr. Robert Price.
Oh, Robert Price. Yeah. I did say because I think I've got a feeling Matt Powell's going to win it. I did ask Bree earlier if he wins it, if she'd like to come on and present him the award because I feel if anyone owes him one, it's Bree.
Is that the religious Cunt of the Year?
Well, not necessarily.
Oh, no,
you
there's
just have
2
to
of them.
be somebody who's either
them
well known to our community or part of the atheist or skeptic community.
2 of them are two of them I just mentioned are atheists, by the way.
Claire.
So
Hi.
Do you want
Hey,
to
Claire.
announce the last category, Claire, that there was for which was
Yeah.
the event one?
Oh, the one we
nominees.
did for the events. The one we did for the events was boy, we did the interview with Alex Jones in Yee and Nick Fuentes. We did the fall of AAI, Atheists International. We did the Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
That's cunty.
And we did, oh my gosh, oh God.
Something to do with soccer.
World Cup.
I
the
can't
FIFA World
say it.
Cup.
I'm gonna mispronounce it, but FIFA. Yes.
FIFA. Yeah.
FIFA, the World
FIFA
Cup.
World Cup.
Yes. Yeah.
Can I ask a favour?
I
please?
say FIFA all the time, and he's like, no.
Before I put my foot in it, I need you all to look after me here, because I haven't conversed with Claire for about a year.
No,
And
not
I
since the last
completely
time I said
forgotten.
cunt on stream.
I completely
That's what he's
forgot
waited for.
that despite what you might think, she's not South African. Okay,
I'm
So I
not.
know-
I'm not. Yes, it's been, and it's definitely, but that is the most popular one, South Africa, which I don't mind that one actually. That's a really nice accent for them.
Well, you
Oh,
don't
yeah,
mind it
wait.
now. Had it been 20 years ago, Claire.
Yeah,
Yeah, then I
was
would.
gonna say,
Then actually I would. But
Didn't we
right
have
now,
some fun with good old South Africa back in the day?
Then you'd be
They're
related
cheeky
to Elon
chappies, aren't
Musk.
they?
Yeah, we sent our second-rate cricketers over there. It was great.
You
Yeah.
know what's really scary? I don't know how old you find people are, but the sad thing is you've got to be over a certain age to understand what we're talking about now. There are human beings on this planet who have no idea what shit was happening in that country not too long ago. That scares me.
I am not quite old enough to have gone through it, so I don't
To
remember
remember
it.
it, yeah.
But my knowledge of history is enough to know what happened. It's
Yeah,
roughly what happened.
yeah.
You're a clever
Right.
dude and you understand apples. I don't need to explain shit to you.
Hey, you guys, I'm going to walk away for a minute and make a cup of coffee. I'll be back in
Hey.
about 4 minutes.
Yes, I have a
Coffee's
nice
awesome.
white tea here because I know no one actually was interested, but
I have
I
coffee.
talk too much. But no. Still, you've got it all wrong. It's not that I'm clever. The term that I prefer is educated beyond my intelligence.
I love that
Ooh.
term.
I do.
Mm.
And you stole it.
Yeah, I'm not claiming ownership of it. I just like it, and I'm like, nope, I will happily go by that. It's a fair descriptor.
I like your tree. I want to touch it.
Oh, Jen, by the way, you know we were talking. Jen,
Sorry.
you know we were Claire. You know we were talking on my stream about the other day about how we said, you know, how because we talked about Kent Hovind, we felt he hadn't really done enough this year to get himself nominated.
That's
What did he
the
done?
other one.
What's he done now?
What happens the day after my
Mhm.
poll goes up?
He got jealous
He-
that Eric
he-
was in
he-
there. Yeah.
Yeah, he let's just say he debated a person of color, and on three
Oh.
separate occasions referred
Did he
to him
do a
with
racist, did he?
He did a
Oh,
racist.
He did the big
He did a
one.
big
Yeah.
He did a big racist. Yeah.
He did the big one.
Damn
yeah.
it! We missed out.
And Jen, he didn't do it just once. He did it repeatedly, didn't he? Jen?
Free.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
I think because he was too late to get things, he's probably giving himself a good chance to
I
be
know.
nominated next one.
Yeah, he saw Eric's name up there and went, damn. They
I
just
didn't
went
do
right
enough
by
this
me.
year.
I didn't
Now I
do
need-
enough. It's like,
That or
I
he
didn't
didn't want
beat
his
anybody else.
underling to beat him either.
Oh, this is
Oh,
true.
yeah.
Well,
That
so-
rivalry between father and son, it's just,
mm.
you know.
Mm.
Mm.
Well, I mean, they do hate each other in real life. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's easy enough to do. Like within your jail and money's going back and forth, the people are taking over your properties. Like, it's like
Yeah.
just normal family blood stuff. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. When you go to jail and your son takes over your ministry and all your monies, he doesn't give it
I
back.
don't know about Hollywood Squares, but we could so play blankety blanks right now.
Oh, how do you play that? Wait, how do you play that? Wait, that sounds interesting. Explain, Ken. Explain.
Haven't you ever didn't you have blankety blanks in the? Well, I suppose it would have.
We had
because
it.
would have been an '80s thing. We wouldn't, even if you
The
had it, it would have
Americans
been.
will know it by a different name.
Would they? Maybe that's what they called Hollywood Squares.
Yeah,
No,
because
no.
I don't know what the
Different
American
game.
variation, the American name would be, but as you've just demonstrated, what we call celebrity squares, they call, what do they call it? I forgot.
Hollywood Squares.
Hollywood Squares. That's the one.
And you had blankety blanks in the UK, didn't you?
Yeah. It was one of our, I thought it was our
that's what I
show.
thought,
one of
yeah.
our-
we
I'm too
invented
young
it.
for this.
We invented it. Like every fucking else.
Yeah, you probably did, and we stole it. That's it's all right. We gave you neighbours.
You probably to be fair. To be fair, it's like everything else, isn't it? We invent it. Australia steals it and does it better than us. You know, like cricket, for example. You know.
I don't know about that because we
I
stole
don't
Countdown
understand
from
cricket.
you.
Don't
Because
do
we already
cricket.
had a Countdown over here, which was a music show, they called it letters and numbers in
Yeah.
Australia, which is just fucked up.
What is that one about then? What's that
It's
show
about
called
numbers
Countdown.
and letters.
Yeah.
Numbers and letters. Sorry, numbers and letters. It was that way around. Yeah. I was like, why? Why couldn't you be clever with a name instead of being idiots?
Australia, Jen, you know that we idiots over here, we basically paid for Neighbours because, as we all know, Australia
It was a
is
huge money maker for the Nine Network by selling it to you guys.
Yeah,
And we hated it.
I know. As
It
everybody
only
knows,
kept going for so many years because you bastards kept buying it. If you'd
I know,
stopped buying
we're
it, we
dumb.
could have got rid of the fucking
we
years
only
ago.
bought it for one reason. Well, actually, two reasons, and they were both Kylie Minogue. Just saying.
Yeah, but even after she was out of it, you guys still bought it. It was just like, although
The
to
thing
be
is-
fair, we probably helped keep your EastEnders going. So turnabout,
That sounds smutty. I don't think that.
your EastEnder, yeah. I so want to start a stream where you just cut straight in, and somebody starts with the line. Cut a long story short, that was how I beat off a homeless guy. Just because I think it's clever.
Neighbours, did you know this, Australia, Jen? Neighbours finally ended. Neighbours finally ended this year.
Yep.
I only just ended this year for you guys.
Yeah, it
I
ended.
thought it ended ages ago for us.
1987 for you folks, but over here it finally fucking ended, and people were upset about this.
Oh shit! They'll make
I
your
mean,
own version of it. We
It
don't
had
want
been
it back.
promoted to being shown on Channel 5, which basically means no fucker watches it. But yeah, I shed a little tear because I'm patriotic and I understand that we have to be kind and gentle to our Australian friends. Because,
To be fair, I think we just kept making it worse and worse and worse in the hope that you guys would realize that
just
it
to
was
piss
shit.
us off.
Yeah.
You were getting your Ruwenge.
To explain, Channel 5 for those who aren't familiar with the UK. This is the show that buys TV shows that all the other networks cancel.
What would be the equivalent here, Jen? I'm trying to think what channel
Things
does
that
that.
we buy. Oh,
As in the takes over the dregs.
well, there'll be the
At least
ABC
some-
now because I don't have the money to buy anything else. But
they still have some nice original shows.
they
but
do.
Yeah.
They do. They used to be
tried-
better before they got their budgets
I
cut.
find this interesting, Australia, Jen. You just said the ABC, which winds me up incessantly. But is ABC now very shit?
Look,
They
to
just
be fair,
don't have
I
any
don't
money.
watch television. They don't have any money. That's the problem.
So your
The previous
ABC
Liberal governments over the last 10 years have just stripped them so far bare that they can't afford to buy shows or produce a lot themselves. So the quality of shows for the ABC is
You said it
down
again.
a lot.
the
It's still
ABC.
probably a better news production values
This
than the
story
commercial
sounds
stations.
very
But
familiar
yeah.
because we've got the same problem over here, and my cricketing friend Jeff will back me up on this. BBC now. I 2 nights ago I was bored, and I thought I will watch some Christmas television. What did I end up watching, Jeff? On fucking BBC One.
I reckon it was football.
No, it was fucking Die Hard. Okay, whatever.
Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
Yes, it is.
Christmas
But
movie.
what
That's
was on
fair
that?
enough.
What did I watch after Die Hard, Jeff?
What would you have watched
about
after Die Hard?
Think about it. BBC One, Christmas time. What
Strictly
do we
Come Dancing?
What do British people always want to watch? Oh, Christmas on BBC fucking One.
I don't know. Other than the blooming speech, I don't know.
Doctor Who,
Mrs.
but you're
Brown's
not getting one
fucking
this year.
boys.
No
Yeah.
Doctor Who this year. Nope.
Nope.
Fucking
No
Mrs. Brown's
special.
boys. Why? Is
Oh,
that shit?
good
Brown
lord!
Boys. Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah,
was
they did
shit.
another Christmas special.
it's not. Yeah, there's nothing Christmassy about that, is there?
The one that I watched was last year's Christmas special. Okay,
Oh.
and I use the term special very loosely here because
Yeah.
it was the exact same fucking jokes that were in the last time I watched.
That
it,
was
which
my whole
was
problem.
about
After the
7
first
years
season
ago.
of that show, it's pretty much become self-referential. So it's the same jokes over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Great the first season, but after that, you might as well not bother.
I'll tell you, the BBC between Mrs. Brown's boys and that bloody Miranda Hart's sitcom. Oh,
Is that
God,
still
you
on?
know.
Hmm.
No, I think they might still be showing the repeats of it that they've shown about a dozen times now.
I was okay with that one, but I've got a sad nerdy fact for you. Just because I'm not competitive, but I have to beat Almost a Doctor because he's got Apple facts and I haven't. So I'm going to do a Miranda Hart fact for you. Okay, the that show, it was called Miranda, I think, wasn't it? That
Yeah.
was the last thing
Yeah.
to be recorded in TC1 Studio One at Television Centre before
Is
we
it really?
before we pulled the fucker. Yes.
Yeah.
There you go. I win. Fuck you, Almost a Doctor. My facts are better than yours.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very honoured here today. I've not only was the first person to receive a certain insult from Stool, but I have actually received multiple swear words
Mhm.
directed at me, and I actually feel like it is truly Christmas. This
It
is
is.
the meaning of
It's
Christmas.
a Christmas
Yes.
miracle, and we've only been going now for what about 15
Oh,
minutes?
let's face it. Stool's Christmas speech will be way more interesting than Charles's.
I agree.
True.
But
True.
here's the thing. I bet you I will watch it at 3 p.m. tomorrow. I bet
Meh.
you I'll watch it. Just out of interest, because I've never had a king before. That sounded smutty, but you know what I mean. I've never had a king. So I'm going to watch it just for shits and giggles. And Jeff will do the same. He'll tell you that he's not going to watch it. But secretly, Jeff loves the king. He does.
Mm.
Well, it will be Christmas here soon. But one thing I did really enjoy from, I think, yes, it was Stool, wasn't it? Was his rendition of The Night Before Christmas.
Oh yes.
What?
Yeah.
What are we,
Was that
what are we
yours?
referring to now here?
You set a few. It was a Twitter thread that you did where you typed out. Was that you? Who
Was
did
it
the
last
version
year?
of?
This doesn't sound like me. No.
Mm.
I have to go back and find this. I
No,
did
because
end up getting told I was too young for it.
I would never.
No.
I
that's
would
not-
never demean the Christmas spirit because, as you all know, I love the little baby Jesus.
Mm.
You liar.
Yeah.
The other Jenny's
You can
back.
get
I didn't
arrested
see
for
you,
that, Stool. You know that, don't you?
I know.
That's right.
Yes,
I've
in
got
most
to
of
be
our
the-
countries, that's illegal. You know that.
I've got to be on my best behaviour because I'm in a foreign land, and not unlike Claire, who's from South Africa. My
Oh no,
accent is
sorry, it
very-
was God. It was God.
It was
Sorry.
GOD? Okay.
Yeah, he did
my
one.
accent
Sorry.
stands out a mile in this country, and again,
Oh.
for the benefit of our younger friends here, there used to be a little bit of tension between GB and Northern Ireland. I'm just saying.
Yeah, just a
Little bit.
just a little bit. Yeah.
Much.
Mhm.
You don't want to overstate it.
Mm.
It was a minor kerfuffle.
I just love the way there that you've reduced the troubles with Northern Ireland to the same level as drama within the atheist community of Austin. Still, that is pretty impressive. The kerfluffle.
Try my best.
The kerfuffle. Yeah.
Somebody
It's such a nice word, though.
It's a lovely word.
Kerfluffle. Or kerfuffle.
Kerfluffle.
Yeah,
Somebody
I got it
resurrected
wrong.
an old tweet from 2016. I saw it for the first time yesterday. And maybe Jeff has seen this. Why am I over here? And Jerry Adams, Jeff, the Jerry Adams, in
Jerry, oh yeah,
had tweeted that he was struggling at Christmas time. He was struggling with all the lights and he couldn't work out the switches and what have you. And somebody replied, surely you have a timer.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
No.
That's fucking funny.
Oh wow.
You've got to be a certain age.
I remember when he was banned from speaking on TV in Britain at one time, wasn't he?
That was hilarious, yeah.
Who? Sorry, my
Jerry
audio
Adams, he's the leader of Sinn Féin. So
The
feel
political wing
lazy
of the
still.
IRA.
I think he
Is
still
he
is.
still,
Yeah.
Jeff?
I think he might be. I'm not sure.
I think so.
The Irish politics is not my.
I'd be surprised if he's
Strong
not
area.
dead, to be honest.
Well, the
He's
other one
very-
is the other one
He's very
died,
alive.
McGuinness.
He's very
Okay, what-
I'm getting pissed off with not being here. I'm famous and I deserve to be seen.
slide
The
the
funny
chair.
thing that
Okay, what's
Well,
Happy
slide
Hogs
over.
Watch?
Slide
the
over.
funny Claire,
There you
stop
are.
doing science. It's Christmas. Shut up. The funny thing about
Hogs
funny thing
Watch.
about
Hogs
when-
Watch is from Terry Pratchett. It's the name of it's what they call Christmas on the Discworld.
when Jerry Adams
Okay, I never read
when it
Discworld.
was kind of illegal for any broadcaster to broadcast the voices of these people, the IRA people. That was difficult because they were in the news quite a bit, and so the news,
Yeah.
like the BBC News,
Mm.
you could see the guy speaking. They had to get an actor to say the words.
To be
fun times.
To be honest, though, I thought the whole show went downhill once they brought Jerry into it. The Addams Family.
That was shit. That was very shit.
It was, wasn't it?
That was remarkably that bad. Yeah.
Yeah,
Can
it
we
was.
kick Australia Jen off, please? I'm not. You put literally no effort into this, Australia Jen.
Oh no,
Where's
I
your-
didn't. I deliberately did not, just to hear your reaction.
Look, no, I'm not talking about that. Me and Almost a Doctor, we've put effort into that. He's got his nice
Yeah,
big
I don't
tree.
have a green screen up,
I've got my big apple. What are you?
and
Come
I
on.
can't find my
Yeah,
Christmas decorations. So screw it.
It's still,
Mhm.
Jen's actually centered.
Fuck you.
Sort of.
Just
Oh,
a touch off.
And look, see, I have a somewhat Christmassy themed cup. The only thing is it's green-ish, so when it was more full of tea, yeah,
I've got
see,
a red spotlight
partially
top on. That's
disappears.
Christmassy.
I
See?
warned Stool that if he put too much effort in, I might have to banninate him from the channel.
Mhm. I've
Because
received
then
my
that's
my
what my
warnings.
whole channel is about, is how can you get YouTube subscribers while putting in as little effort as possible. That's what I've done for 5 years.
What are your main lessons so far?
Well, that's what I've done for 5 years. I set up these streams, like I take about half an hour looking up a holiday and I set up the streams, and that's all I've done for 5 years on
And then
this
you let
channel.
everybody else do the work. Now, what you need to do, that explanation that you just gave to us, make it into a YouTube video.
That will require effort.
Yeah,
Yeah,
We're not
I
doing
stopped
that
making
very well.
edited videos a couple of years ago because this actually required me to put some time into it.
Yeah.
And who's
I
got
mean-
time?
and
we've all
quality.
What's that?
We've all got wonderful, sexy ideas, but let's be honest, we're all cunts. And who can be arsed sitting around doing a video? It's just leave it to the kids.
I mean, I can. It's just I don't have the time.
Yeah,
Does
you're a
that
busy
count?
person.
I used to do them. I just don't at the moment. I'm going
I
to get
enjoy
back to it.
doing it. I'm the behind the scenes guy.
Oh, I
love
always
it.
enjoy doing it.
I love
Well,
it.
Well,
depending
I-
on who I do it with.
Well,
I actually, yeah, I really enjoyed making the last edited video I put up on the Comet. And the only thing is I realized that I kind of stuffed the beginning. If I just changed how I worded things or done the opening, it probably would have done even better, because I had a really good retention rate if you made it past the first 30 seconds.
I'm in the middle of making one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have a half dozen scripts for videos that I haven't really gotten around to finishing because I keep saying that as soon as I get some decent sleep, I'll make another video. And
The
that's
first ever
been about,
video I put on
What's-
YouTube
what's
doesn't
his
exist on
sleep?
YouTube anymore.
yeah, well, that's been about 3 years that I've been waiting to get a decent night's sleep. So
What's
Did you
sleep?
all
When
do
was
your
it you
thing?
first ever put a video on YouTube for everyone?
I think my
in
first one was the
2008.
video I did for Yule 2017.
Good morning, Junie. Good morning, Demon. Good morning, my pet, my girlfriend.
Hey, Jeannie.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Junie.
Morning, Junie.
I
Demon
put my
and
first
Mickey.
video online in
Yeah.
2012, and it doesn't exist online anymore, so there's no point anyone looking for it. But it was all about
Oh,
how
I know
I hate baby. It was all about how much I hate baby on board stickers on the back of the.
That's a
cards
good one.
because
So
I hate them.
hate them
I've
too.
said it so many times on different streams. I literally hate them because it's like I'm bragging I have kids.
Yeah,
And
the
you should
only-
be more careful for me because I've got a kid.
Okay,
No,
actually,
you should be careful about everybody, not just the people with kids in their car.
the baby on board stickers originally had a purpose. And people
Really?
didn't know they had a purpose, so they got to be such a joke and overused. Originally, the idea was that you put them in your car so that if you were in an accident, emergency workers would realize that they should look for a child if you were
Well,
unconscious.
that I can
Yeah,
get
there
on board
was.
with.
Yeah, there was
but-
actually an accident where a car, I think it got sandwiched or something. They got the parents out, got them to hospital, and didn't realize there was a baby in the back because the car had been crashed, and that was what started that. So yeah,
Well,
originally
that makes sense. So the original
yeah.
idea is fine, but what it became is absolute trash.
Yeah, possibly.
So-
I mean, I've used them for notifying that there was autistic in the van, especially if there's an accident, because they don't really react well to strangers coming up to them or anything, and they might run.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
as
anything like that.
warning, as
as a
warning
warning,
labels.
like as a
Yeah,
warning
but that's-
label. But the
Well, also that, in stressful situations, a lot of autistics become completely nonverbal, so they won't
Exactly.
even tell you what's going on.
yeah, the youngest would be like that, like totally.
Can I add
not
something to it though?
communicating.
If you're
Mhm.
going to put a sticker on your car to let people know that there's a baby on board, why the hell would you put it on a window? Because that's
True.
probably going to be the first thing that breaks.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know.
It's
And you're
probably going to
obscuring
be
your
the
view
first
through
thing
the
that
window
goes
by
through the
putting
baby's mind, to be honest.
The
Because
idea
I
of
mean,
them being put up,
most of the modern ones, even if you were saying you were doing it for that, most of the modern ones I've seen aren't even stickers. They're the big yellow signs like this with the suction cup on it, and they dangle them off the back window, obscuring their view. And it's all about bragging rights. It's got absolutely nothing to do with protecting their child at all.
well, actually, the original ones were with the suction cups because the idea was you were only supposed to have it up when you had the child in the car. So kind of like the
Ah.
handicap placards that, if you were
Okay.
driving without the child, you're supposed to take it down.
Right.
But
Mhm.
I still have a problem with that. Like I do with I think parking stickers for handicapped people is great, and even letting people know that there's a handicapped person on board the car is great. But sticking them on the windscreen or on the back window is stupid because it blocks the driver's view.
Mhm.
Might have been better
Some
to do.
cars you can be a bit
Mine hangs from
sneaky
the
about,
rearview
like
mirror.
as in you can be a bit
Yeah, I
clever
was gonna
about where
say
you put
probably
them.
make more sense to hang it from the rear view mirror.
Yeah, and I take it out when I'm driving and put it back up when I've parked.
And that's
Yeah,
what you're
that makes
supposed
more
to
sense.
do. You're
Oh,
actually supposed to
That's
take
a
them off
solution
when
that
you're
works, but
driving.
that requires effort and
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah.
And you need
And
more
people are lazy.
information. You need more information too. Like, we made a packet and put it behind the seats in the folder and in the glove compartment, and on the sticker we put another thing that said that it was there, like with their name and with like particulars that they may do.
And that
problem.
makes sense.
Yeah, because we're trying. The goal is to protect them in the long run, not whoever's reading the damn sticker.
Yeah.
Like So.
To be honest,
Yeah.
though, I would hate on those baby on board signs, but myself and Stool can't because we have to endure every time there's a World Cup on with these stupid bloody England flags on the top of people's cars,
Well, anytime.
Okay, you want to see something that is really fucking dumb, you know?
Hey, now you're getting a taste about how we felt the last 6 years with all the MAGA flags.
Yeah.
There aren't too many
Yeah.
England flags where I am.
We get them on Australia Day.
Oh yeah,
the same
you're
place.
lucky. You're lucky where you are still now. Yeah, you're not going to get quite so many of them now.
I still see a
thing
bunch of
that
Trump bumper stickers.
Oh
The
no,
thing
you still see them
some
everywhere.
people go overboard with
You'll
is
occasionally
that-
find them here, and the one thing that gets me is like in Australia, it's like, why? I actually remember back when at the last election, this was after the result, by the way. So it was after the actual votes had been counted. It was pretty clear he was going to lose. I'm looking out a window out the back of the house, and then I see Skype writing. I see the plane starting to do it, and I'm like, I can't make out what they're writing yet. So I'm just like, let me sit and watch. And then it's just like T, and I'm like, oh, and they write out Trump 2022, and you're like, no, 2020. Sorry. They just write out Trump, and they keep writing it, and you're just like, oh no, in Australia, because that's expensive. You had to pay for the skywriting.
Yeah.
But you're in
What's
the
the
wrong
point?
country to make any difference.
Well,
And it was after the election.
Wearing mega caps in any other country than the United States is just a target.
Oh,
Wait,
I do
well,
have a
what-
story on that one. Because I
What Jen
used to work as a casual in a fish shop, and we did like fresh fish as well as cooked stuff. So just this is when I was still at high school and then early uni. And this guy had come up, and he was wearing a red cap, but I didn't notice that it had any writing on it. I'm just like taking his order, and he had a reputation that amongst the workers in the shop that the person who served him was the last person to see him coming. Everyone else would move away. And unfortunately, I was in the kitchen and I couldn't, and I didn't spot him. And then, so I'm serving him, and then it's like he gives me the change for the amount of money to get exactly $10 in change. So I got to hand him a $10 note, and he goes, "No, 2 5s," like as though I was meant to know. I'm like, okay, he's like one of those people. He's annoying me. I'm like, all right, I'll just start cooking the food, and he's kind of leaning over the little like glass railing, looking at me, and I don't mind that because you can watch me. I don't care. And then just halfway through cooking his food, he just turns to me and goes, "I think Trump will be great for America." And I'm just sitting there going, I am literally cooking your lunch. I'm just at some casual in a fish shop. I'm like, what the hell am I meant to say to that? I mean, apart from the fact that we're clearly in the wrong country, and that was when I noticed that it wasn't just a red cap.
Just fake a sneeze.
When you say fish shop, help me out here. When you say fish shop, do you mean a fish and chips?
We did like the whole and the fresh fish as well as fish and chips.
Oh, okay.
So we had a kitchen and we had I guess what you would
thought
take away.
when you said fish shop that you meant an aquarium store.
That's what I thought at
okay.
first, that you meant a pet store.
This is a multinational stream. You've got to be precise with your words. So when you say, "I'm not going to let this lie because I'm now hungry," you cunt, I now want fish and chips. So when you say fish shop, do you mean a place where pedestrians can walk into the premises and order food that may contain items of fish?
Yes, that is included in what this shop did do as part of
thank
its
you.
services
Very
to the
much.
general public.
And just so you know, Jinzu, that no one in Australia would ask for 10 ones. Because it's all we have $1 coins, not notes.
Yeah, we're advanced, aren't we, Australia, Jen?
And they're fucking heavy, our $1 coins.
Yeah, I don't want to know where they'd be.
resistant to having $1 coins. They've tried to introduce them a couple of times, and they never seem to get very far.
No.
Nobody
because
really
why.
uses them
That's because
here.
they're too stupid to stop producing the bill.
Yeah, well, let's say, especially with everything being vending machines, it's like, you know, the coins just make a lot more sense when you're putting money into machines.
I've got
Who
an
uses
interesting
cash
thing.
these days anyway? I have pause everything.
I've got
Yeah,
an
all our
interesting
vending
thing.
machines
Yeah,
here have
Well,
cards
yeah.
I still
on
use
them now.
I still use cash for my gas, but
Well, that's now, I don't think that we're going to ever see the $1 coin work, because at this point, people are just jumping past it and just using the plastic cards for everything.
Yeah, I think eventually, like the way the world's heading, I don't know exactly how long it'll take, but yeah, we'll get rid of hard cash. There won't be physical money.
You know, it looks like you've got Barack Obama's ID there still.
I was waiting for Cunt to finish because I'm polite. I had an interesting thing to say, but can continue because this is
No, I'm
fascinating. It's truly
I'm done.
fascinating. Now do apples again.
I'm not a biologist.
When I are they the people that
Steve
do
Jobs
apples?
was a prick. They have done
When I-
apples.
When I first arrived here, I had to go to the ATM. And Jeff, this might amaze you, you commie, but when I went to the ATM, I did not know that they have funny, weird money. Even though this is in the UK, I had no fucking idea.
Yeah.
It gave me my money, and I was upset because I thought that's not fucking real money. This is something that Elon Musk has invented. That's not real money. And I don't know what Danske Bank is. What the fuck is Danske Bank?
Yeah, they're allowed to issue. They're actually allowed to issue tender, aren't they, out there?
I've no fucking idea. I really don't know.
Well, you go to still same thing. You go to Scotland, like the Royal Bank of Scotland issues
Oh,
notes.
that thing. Oh, I get you. Okay.
It's a similar thing, only in Northern Ireland, but it's the same way. Like, or if you go to the Channel Islands again, you'll see some difference in the coins.
The green one, that's a 10. The green one is quite interesting because if you've never seen one, I can't do it for you. It'll disappear. But
yeah,
the picture of the person on the front, I'm convinced it's Stephen Fry.
Yeah. Well, I'm certain that we're never going to be completely cashless, just because there will always be some purchases that people don't want a paper trail for.
Well, in that case, they can trade something else.
Apples.
They people will find a way around it. I mean, NFTs.
The
Anyone?
next world economy in the Armageddon is going to be 5.56 ammunition.
Apples are the future.
So in that case, what would a vintage apple be worth in apples?
3.
I have three
that would
kids
be a
and no
metric
money.
3. A metric,
three, not an imperial 3.
No, in imperial it would be 7 1/4. I am blowing. I'm literally blowing. Not literally because I haven't got a gun, but I can see how almost he's just astounded with my science knowledge.
Yeah,
I don't know where you get it all from.
It's just not in the way you think.
Fuck you. You see, I love you. I'm lucky enough to be of a certain vintage, like a fine wine, where I can. I'm what
you've corked.
I was going to say he's more of a fine winer than a fine wine.
Did he say that? Did he say port?
No, I think he's gone past the stage of wine and turned to vinegar now.
That's actually
all wine is vinegar.
This is actually quite topical because it's Christmas, and I did actually have a bottle of port the other day. I think Math Pig.
It only lasted a day, did it? Still.
Well, I say a day. I'm being generous, but it was.
I don't know. I'm not big on port. I prefer starboard.
It's oh god, this is getting worse. I'm just gonna leave. I can't do 72 hours of this.
Hey, Claire, I have a disagreement.
Is that supposed to be a threat still?
Money is not filthy. At least mine's not, because I lick all of it.
You lick. No, it's really dirty. Like it's really dirty. It's dirty. It's just
so you're telling us, Jenny, that you like to lick off the old presidents.
Yeah, well, she's got high standards. At least she's licking presidents.
Yeah, well, God help you if they ever put Trump
She
on
could
the
go to Mount
banknote.
Rushmore and get their rocks off.
Except for $100 bill, I like to chew on Franklin for a while.
Oh,
Ben Franklin was a ladies' man well into his 70s. You know, they have copies of letters written by French women when Ben Franklin was like 72, 73.
Wow.
Which was
I've
the,
just-
was
I've
it,
just
pre-
remembered
which was the
something
president who
important.
the American president, they found all of his love letters, and it was rather interesting stuff. I'm trying to remember who that. It's not Johnson, is it? No.
Should they be renamed the Fondling Fathers then?
Oh dear.
Hey, you
No
guys,
comment.
you guys
No.
in Australia? I just want
For
you
some reason, when Australia Jen
Wait,
said that,
Hey, Stool,
Hush
you're
up.
talking
Wolf
over
Harris
Johnny.
came to mind.
hush up, Stool. For you guys in summary, Australia, we've been having some really nasty cold weather here. Have you heard? It's been like 20 below zero Fahrenheit for the last several days, but by the end of next week, it's going to be 40 Fahrenheit.
One thing to be positive about that, Jenny, is your nipples will be perky.
Mine have been.
I don't,
You know,
I
and
don't see those.
I don't know if this happens to other people on the HRT, but mine literally have not gone down for over a year now.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happens.
I have no idea what to say after that.
Yeah.
There was a bit of a pause there, wasn't there?
Look, we're allowed to
Well-
talk about perky nipples because you
Well,
guys
we're-
talk about shrinkage in cold water. That's perfectly normal behavior.
Yeah, but
So-
as far as the
It just
cold
shows
and
the superiority of women, that men shrink in cold and women grow.
We get bigger, yeah.
I
as
know
far
we're
as the
all
cold in the
excited
US,
because
though, it's gotten the whole country. Texas is having problems with their power grid again because people are trying to run heaters.
Yeah. I figured that would happen.
Yeah, there was
we had a
55,000
pretty
people without power yesterday, something like that.
eventually.
Yeah, we've had a pretty. It's been pretty cool up until this week here. I don't know what it's like for Jen, but yeah, the summer over here's not been great. It's finally warming up for us now. Like I'm running.
I'm gonna say, isn't your country normally like on fire by this time of year?
Yes, although
Yeah.
we're actually suffering from the opposite. We're suffering from lots of floods because that's just the part of the cycle we're in. So we're going to have to deal with floods for a little longer, and then we'll have a drought and everything will burn to the ground. But there's also, unfortunately, not much left because a couple of years ago, so right before COVID hit, we burnt down. Well, New South Wales lost an area the equivalent of the Low Countries in Europe, so the Netherlands, Belgium, Denmark, to fires. We just a good portion of our state, and that's not including what burnt down in the neighboring state either. So yeah, there wasn't much left after that, and then now we've just been having record-breaking floods, and one of them broke a record that was held for only I think, was it 4 months? And we've had some towns that have gone through 4 floods, I think, already in the last year.
Jeez.
Does
Australia have any mountain ranges at all?
Yeah.
Technically, no, because our mountains are not tall enough to be considered mountains because they're all under 2.5 kilometers. But we do have some, I guess we've got do have a few, but they're not that tall.
I thought a mountain was considered 1,000 meters.
I thought it was 2.5 Ks. Oh, maybe I'm wrong then.
No,
in which case we do.
Yeah, our highest peak is 2.2, I believe. If you go back, what was it? If you go back basically to the time of the dinosaurs, we actually had one of the largest mountain ranges in the world at the time, and that's
I
the
reckon it
Sterling
was
Ranges
taller than the Himalayas are now.
Yeah. The Sterling Ranges would that be because they were an uplift mountain that has eroded since over that time frame, and they're that old. So the amount of erosion they would have had over that time frame means that they were, up there.
It eroded, and all that's left is Ayers Rock.
Oh, no. This is southern. It's close to where I am, actually. I was going to do a whole video on it. I actually have a script and a whole heap of footage because I went out there and went for a bit of a climb. and took film footage and
Yeah,
everything. So
Ayers Rock is an interesting one because, or Uluru is an odd one because what you see is only a tiny part of it. It's basically a giant ass rock formation that extends very, very far down. But yeah, they've had trouble with that in the past because they used to let people basically climb it, and they were all leaving rubbish on it, and so we've stopped people. You can't climb it anymore, which is probably the right thing to do because there are actually tiny ponds on the top of it that have animals like certain fish and insects that you cannot find pretty much anywhere else. And people were chucking rubbish in these tiny ponds.
There's
It's
people complaining that they're not allowed up there, and it's like,
Well, at least on Mount Everest, they don't leave as much litter as they do bodies.
they use them as waypoints now.
Yeah,
The bodies.
Hey, just remember that every frozen body on Mount Everest was once a highly motivated individual.
Yeah, but did they smoke?
I think we should all take a few moments on this special day to pray to the little baby Jesus for the spirits and hearts of the poor people who have died on the Mount Everest.
all those lovely markers for the next climbers.
Look, I understand exploration. What I don't get is doing things that are that dangerous for the sake of doing it.
Yeah, but that's because you're not a thrill seeker.
Yep, I don't get it
You have a
either.
low testosterone level.
I'm a rock climber.
Oh, that's insane. How can you do that?
Yeah,
One
like
slip and you're dead.
Yeah, normally I will have a rope attached to me if I'm going up more than a couple of meters.
Did you hear about
but
that?
yeah,
Did you hear about that kid in America here? He's like, what, 8 years old? And his dad took him up El Capitan.
an 8-year-old on
crazy.
El Capitan.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
that's
been
insane.
climbing rocks. He's been doing rock climbing with his dad all these years, and since he's a little baby, and he's apparently really good at it. Took him up.
I normally just go to the indoor climbing gyms, but yeah, occasionally you just see these little kids and you're like, oh, they're with their parents, and then you watch them and they start climbing and you're like, oh, they're better than me. I've been climbing longer than they've been alive, and they can outdo you. You're like, ah. But yeah, I have a few friends who are really, really into it, who really quite good. But I do quite like it because people do tend to be quite friendly in it. It's generally a very encouraging atmosphere. It's just everyone wants someone else to climb, and they don't really care what level people are at. It's just, no, let's climb. Obviously, there'll be individuals where it differs, but I find it much nicer atmosphere than going to the gym.
There's a
Plus,
weird
you actually have to
discussion.
think about it.
This is fascinating. It's not Apple fascinating, but you know the weirdos in side chat seem to be having a bizarre conversation about exotic jerky. And
Yeah, frozen. I think it was because of the Mount Everest comment, but I don't know.
I don't know what jerky is.
All started this, you know where that comes from.
Oh, so is jerky that thing that Americans eat, or are we talking about wanking here? I don't know. I'm busy.
Yep, jerky is dried meat.
Yeah,
It's
That would be hard to
dehydrated.
wank from.
there's an interesting story with the jerky thing. My uncle was on this boat. Had this. He did charter fishing for people, so he'd take people out, let them go fishing. And he had this thing of jerky. He was like, "Here, try some. This is the best jerky I've ever had." Like the guy was, "You know who I am?" Like yeah, you're Jack. You know, I'm taking you up to Jack Lynx. It's a brand of jerky around here,
Oh.
by the way.
Mhm.
So he's offering Jack Lynx, the guy who does this whole jerky. This jerky he has. Like, well, if you throw it away over the boat, or it'll give you jerky for the rest of your life.
Jerky was invented when they tried to take meat as away from being a sex toy for men and turn it into a sex toy for women.
I don't understand this conversation. I'm British. Stop saying jerky, because I'm thinking you've got a secret joke amongst you. You're all talking about wanking, and I've not been invited. Stop it now.
Just whip it out.
Stu, do you need to be invited to have a wank?
Really?
Yes.
He's polite that way.
It was one of the Queen's final wishes, and I will
That
honor
you'd
her
only wank
command.
if you were invited.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
I invite you to wank, turn off your camera, get busy.
There are literally 3 police officers stood behind my screens watching me. They've got guns, and it's Christmas, so I can't wank unless I'm invited.
They must be special forces then if they're in the UK with guns.
They would shoot you with for wanking.
This is Ireland. I believe
This is
Ireland.
Northern Ireland. It's a little different.
Well, those
I-
Turks have gone too far.
I think they might be a little bit more relaxed with the old guns. I don't know. I haven't found any bombs yet. Oh, fuck, I'm going to get in so much trouble today. I've got to behave myself. Don't say stupid shit and start another fucking war. Fucking hell. Who was stupid enough to put me in Northern Ireland? What the fuck?
It was your fault. You invaded Poland.
Oh, fuck up. Really? Fuck. I hate you.
Oh my god.
One of the most amazing things about humans, well, not humans, English people, one of the most amazing things about English people is how long will it take before somebody talks about fucking World War II or Hitler? It's usually about 7 seconds. That's my estimate.
We've already been there tonight. I didn't start.
Don't mention the war.
Yeah, don't mention the war. No, you hit him, you silly moose. Sorry, I'm showing my age.
Jeff, O'Brien made a very valid point the other day. And he was talking about, there's one thing that we are not allowed to talk about in the UK. You get in trouble if you talk about it. The B word. Because the lovers of the B word do not want you to talk about it. For some strange reason.
What's the B word?
It's because it's been such a rip-roaring success, you see, Still. That's why, they don't want to rub it in our faces that it's been a marvellous success.
Oh,
get ready,
Brexit.
Get ready for the science. Get ready for the science.
Oh, I thought you were talking about boobs. As far as I'm
I
concerned,
know.
boobs are the
Like,
big
I
word,
thought it
so-
was boobs too, but it's
Yeah.
I mean, they have been a big success.
The B thing happened 6 years
Mine and
ago.
Claire's were.
Well, these are the same people who will not shut the fuck up about 1966 World Cup, World War II. I think that's fucking weird.
Oh, what? 1966 World Cup. Okay, you're going to have to explain that.
Oh, I love talking about football. Jeff knows this. I'm an expert.
It's just
In
random.
1966, we did some footballs in the England in a big place with 2 towers. Not the one in New York. That's a different tower thing. That was the
we're talking about the original Twin Towers here.
Yeah, and they did the footballs there, and we won against the Germany people in 1966, and we fucking won't shut up about it.
Yeah, because we've never won. Because we've never won anything fucking
I was
since
gonna
then.
say, have you never won since? Is that the problem? Like, what's going on? Like,
I bet you could beat Germany in cricket.
And
don't talk.
Yeah, don't bet on that.
Germany. We're almost Hitler here. Let's come on.
Wasn't that the main plot of the whole Married with Children show, that he wouldn't shut up about the one game he won 40 years ago?
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey,
it's 50-40. It's 54 years now since England won a World Cup, and most of the people talking about it weren't fucking alive when it happened.
Yeah. As you know, I am a football expert, but I'm going to have to confer with my my co-presenter here, Jeff. Was that the last time we ever won anything?
It's the only time we've ever won anything.
The only time. Well,
You occasionally beat us at cricket. Occasionally.
there was also that little kerfuffle in the 1940s.
Yeah.
Technically, sports you can do, but
that's the old joke, isn't it? We've beaten Germany once at our national sport and twice at theirs.
Do we know any German people we can get on stream?
Why still do you need to insult more people?
Yeah.
My grandma was German.
I'm on a mission. I'm on a Christmas mission.
Orla, don't
What's
you
it?
dare behave.
It would be worse if we had Italians in here.
Oh yeah, much.
Oh, we can.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
sure
but they
we
were on
can.
the winning side. They were on the winning side the first time.
Well, no, Italy's the only country to have changed sides in both world wars.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, they never officially changed sides in World War One. They just because the weird thing is that in World War One they were actually part of the Central Powers on paper, but the clauses, and this is where I bet a bunch of lawyers had advised their government on what to do, said that they didn't have to join an offensive war. It was all about defense, and because Germany and Austria-Hungary had been the ones declaring war, it wasn't defensive, so they actually basically got out of it. They didn't have to join, and then it was Austria-Hungary's like, hey, come on, we'll give you a bit of territory if you attack France, and then France was like, no, we'll give you more territory if you attack Austria-Hungary, and Italy was like, ooh, land.
I heard that
oversimplifying
Italy
a
was so
lot.
bad at the war that they were the only country that had to turn around and start shooting the other way, and they're out of their trenches.
In World War one of the major battlefields that the Italians fought at was the Battle of the Isonzo. Does anyone want to have a guess how many battles of the Isonzo there were?
2?
Quite a number
6?
of them, weren't there?
6 or
12.
7? 12.
12.
12 battles of the Isonzo. And then but the Austro-Hungarians were the only reason Italy didn't really lose. The Austro-Hungarians were about as incompetent, but part of that was due to the fact that their army had about 7 different languages in it, so they could never so it was not easy to actually coordinate. And then as soon as the Germans joined, they nearly rolled them over, and the Allies had to send people to help them. It's all a mess. And then in World War II, the only vote the Fascist Grand Council ever held was to get rid of Mussolini and switch sides.
Yep.
Hey, everybody,
I find
say,
it-
say hello to Aunt Jer, who's in the
The Italians did notoriously bad in North Africa in World War II.
They did well if they had German leaders, but their tanks were riveted together and were basically built by hand. They didn't have production lines, so they were the individual troops were not too bad, but they on occasion had leaders who were not the most competent, and they had equipment that.
When the British the same though? I mean, most of the British leaders in the Second World War and First World War were fairly competent.
It depends where, but the reason it didn't hurt the British as much is they tended to have a bit more of a they had better methods in place to.
They had lots of Australians and New Zealanders to use as cannon fodder.
North Africa, yeah, they did, and Indians as well. They had a lot of Indian divisions, but they
I heard
depend.
that for the Italian tanks that Ferrari insisted they be red.
I know by towards the end of it, the Germans at least were running out of paint, so they stopped properly painting the tanks. That's why a lot of them were grey. That was the undercoat. And then they realized, it doesn't work very well when the enemy can see them.
Actually, NASA stopped painting the tanks on the space shuttle because they realized it would save 600 pounds.
Yeah, but they're not under fire.
I still think the best plan of the Second World War was attaching bombs to dogs to.
Yeah, but that was the Russians. But
bomb. There was the idea of using bats, wasn't there, as well?
Yes, the Japanese did actually shove incendiaries in the bats, and then the bats turned around, came back, and set fire to their own buildings. But the dogs were a similar one that the Russians.
Yeah, well, because the Russians had trained with their own tanks.
on their own tanks. So as soon as they let the dogs out in the battlefield, they took one look at the German tanks, and then they looked back at the Russian tanks, and they're like, "We've been trained to go for those ones," and they ran back and.
Their own tanks.
That's
the
who let the dogs out?
Pretty well, but they made a few bad
decisions. I mean, look what they did to poor Laka in Orbit. They left her up there.
I need a stick.
She's
I'm
still
gonna
up
have to
there.
get a stick.
No, unless she re-entered.
Some of the weird
Russians
plans
could
they
be
had in the Second World War. Sorry, Jenny.
They eat dogs too, don't they?
What, the Chinese?
No, Russians.
I have no idea.
I don't know if it's common practice there.
Yeah.
Well, they sure
If
treat them
you're
bad.
if you're into history, and I'm sensing that some of you fine people are, I think history is fascinating and very important.
Yep.
If you're massively important and people don't fucking pay, a lot of people don't pay attention to it, and don't want to say the old cliche, but we do. Well, no, we should learn our lessons from it, but we don't. If you want a bit of it, no, we absolutely don't. And if you want a bit of a giggle, there's a good book. It's a short read. Jeff might have read it. It's called 52 Times Britain Was a Bellend. And
Do you know I've not read that actually, but I have actually got tempted. I want to read it now.
We need to get that book and do a stream on it.
Yeah.
It's a lovely book.
Have a nice
Australia.
sleep. Come on back when you get up. We'll
It's a
still
lovely
be
book
here.
because it's basically if you just want to read something briefly, a few pages or whatever, each chapter is 2-3 pages long. It's not.
So, does that include the pigeon thing?
Say again.
The pigeon thing where the British were training pigeons to control
no.
missiles.
No, that was just one individual, and he was actually successful.
Oh no, it was successful, which is
it was a pigeon kamikaze rocket in World War II.
Yeah.
The guy trained them to guide rockets.
This book is a little bit more dark because it does it in a jovial way, but it explains to you in very easy
Suicide
terms
Pigeons isn't dark.
just how shit the UK is and all the cunty things we've done to other people throughout history.
What was the other plan?
Well,
There was a plan. There was a plan to put chickens inside landmines so that they could bury them during the winter, and the warmth of the chicken would keep the landmine warm enough that it would keep working, because if they got too cold, they would stop working.
That sounds like the kind of cunning ruse I would do.
The Japanese actually tried a scheme that they released 10,000 weather balloons with incinerary devices because they really thought that they could burn America to the ground.
Those weather balloons actually did work. Some of them reached the US and actually hit a few buildings.
You can still find them today in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, but the thing is, the Americans did such a good job of keeping the media quiet that the Japanese thought they'd failed because they didn't hear about them.
Yeah, but also the Japanese drastically underestimated the size of the U.S.
The Japanese basically had this mentality of basically not looking at reality and just imagining every scenario going perfectly. They had and that was more of a consequence of just the unfortunate way that the country ended up, because they were not organized, and it was all about everything's going to go exactly to plan, and they had these elaborate plans. And then they quickly realized that they had severely underestimated what the American response was going to be. And then were like, oh, and then lost all of their biggest ships.
All plans in war work until the first bullet is shot.
Yes.
Yeah, the Japanese actually believed that the attack on Pearl Harbor would get the Americans to sue for peace.
Yep.
Wow, that's not well thought out at all.
But in their defense of that plan, they were meant to officially declare war before it happened, but the embassy was slow to actually decrypt the message, and because they hadn't started decrypting it, they didn't realize what it was, and so they actually handed the declaration later than the Japanese government thought they would. Because, as I said, they were all about elaborate plans. Everything was meant to be timed. They didn't want to give the Americans much warning, but they did want to officially declare war first. It wasn't meant to be a complete surprise attack. And there is also the argument, this is probably why the American commander lost his job for it, is that they were tracking the Japanese fleet and then they lost it. And it wasn't just a small squad. It was the combined strike capability of Japan. It was the only time they ever put that many aircraft carriers together, and the Americans then it went out into the Pacific and then they lost it. And there have been some historians who've argued that at that point any decent commander should have put everyone on alert because they knew they were going to end up at war. The reason why 2 of the aircraft carriers were not at Pearl Harbor when the attack happened is because they were taking planes to American colonies in preparation for Japanese attacks.
Yeah.
So it was actually Japan that was partially the reason they missed their main targets. But again, they underestimated America. America was like, okay, sink as many of our ships as you want. We will build more. They're just like, okay, we'll just outbuild you.
Anyone know the name of the ship that was survived Pearl Harbor, but the British ended up sinking it?
No.
I believe it was
British tank? I don't. Yeah.
I believe it was the USS Phoenix. I believe.
Was that at a nuclear test, or am I thinking of something else?
No, the United States sold it to the Navy of Argentina, who renamed it the General Belgrano.
Okay.
I did not know that, but that does make sense. But yeah, no,
Well,
1982 was such a blast, wasn't it, Jack?
So they bought it from Ike's used.
It was an old World War II ship that the Argentines built. It was still in service in 1982 as the Belgrano. Britain sunk it during the Falklands War.
And what's the warranty on a used battleship?
Hmm?
They actually are pretty impressive. No one's built a battleship since World War II.
Yeah.
But by the end of World War II, everyone realized that they're actually useless as a fighting ship, more or less. There were some engagements, but for the most part, their best role, if particularly looking at Pacific, was floating artillery platforms. They are basically a giant mobile battery with the biggest guns that any army or navy would ever hope to get. There was only, I think, 2 guns ever made that were bigger than what you'd find on any battleship, and those were the big, massive German ones that were insanely ineffective for how much they cost.
Aren't offensive navies basically useless in today's warfare with our guided missile technology?
Subs are still useful to launch the missiles.
Yeah, and that's why most navies tend to have smaller, like cruisers and destroyers, which are specially built to handle those. And there are some fleets that are just to protect the aircraft carrier.
Well, on the last battleships built, the Americans underestimated their own ships. That the battleship New Jersey, the first time it was out trying to support an amphibious assault, I forget the name of the island, but they overshot the island completely and hit the British landing craft coming in from the other side.
I did not know about that one. But yeah, my favorite fact from World War II is that of everything made in the war, every ship, every plane, every bullet, every mug, everything that was produced in World War II, America made 2/3 of it.
Oh, wow.
Well, yeah, because we were the only country that wasn't getting our factories bombed every day.
Yes.
It made America a lot of money, though.
Yeah, exactly.
It did.
Yeah, well, that's why America had the big boom in the 50s. We were the only country left that still had our industrial capacity intact.
You're welcome. We did it for you. Just so you could all have TVs and pizza and all that shit.
But yeah, I know the Japanese also built. Oh, sorry, still.
So it's okay. I've got a weird delay. I apologize. Never underestimate the amount of love that Britain has for the American people. We love them. We think they're brilliant and not weird.
We think they're weird.
Can I just butt in 1 minute?
Weird.
I was finding the history stuff really fascinating. It was lacking apples, but whatever. I was enjoying that. You would do it. I'm going to give you kind of a 6 out of 10. You didn't mention Hitler, which is always a good thing at Christmas, so kudos there.
And now you've mentioned him.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I think there was an
has
error.
ruined the stream. We'll have to.
There was
take
an
it
error
down and
because
delete it.
the whole thing about the big guns. Yes, the Germany did do some big guns, and they fired them on this land. But Iran. Now, Iran in the 80s. Might have been Iraq, I forget. But in the 80s, there was
It was
a big,
Iraq.
Iraq.
There was-
I've
It was
seen.
Saddam
I've seen.
Hussein's guns.
there was
Yeah,
a
I've
big-
seen a couple of sections of that gun because it's
Yeah.
they got some of it's at the Royal Armouries in Portsmouth.
there was
I've
a
seen
big
a couple.
kerfuffle about it, and we were all
Yeah.
scared
There's that word again.
about this big gun.
Well, here's the thing: the Germans in World War II did try and build one that would have been bigger, but it wasn't a traditional gun. It was basically a giant rail system in a bunker that aimed upwards with angled charges. So you'd end up with these giant shells moving at insane speeds that would have ranges of several hundred kilometers. To give you an idea, a railway gun, which is about as big as you'll ever get on land, I think the longest I've ever heard of is about 61 kilometers, so about 30 something miles, high 30s. But these guns, yeah, several hundred. But the British found out about them, and then they actually developed a bomb that basically caused mini earthquakes, and they just shook the bunker to pieces.
Oh, is that the one
Yeah,
British man?
know about
I need to
this.
break in here.
Most people are unaware of that fact. I'm now in your.
Hi, Diana. Hi, Amiga.
Hi, Dan.
Hi, Diana.
I need to break in here for special acknowledgement, and Amiga Nuts is here. And Amiga Nuts maintains the official shilling list that allows me to put everybody's links in the descriptions.
If you're giving shout outs, can we also say a cheeky festive hello to Greggy Poos, who I've just noticed is inside chat. And Greggy Poos, look.
Greggy Peace has been around for a while.
Yeah,
It's
Greg
my
Hartwick has
favourite
been
thing,
here from the
Greggy
beginning.
Poos.
Yeah, Pete, a very generous person. He also sent Sloth Girl the knitting machine that she has been using, and she has been cranking out hats. Her aunt is doing a charity event for veterans. So far, Sloth Girl has made close to 50 hats on that knitting machine for that.
Oh, wow.
Well, and this was, he gave it to her last year, and last year she had done several dozen hats for local homeless people here.
Greg, this isn't popularly known. We really don't talk about it much, but I'm going to tell the secret, Greg. Greg gave me syphilis. It was very generous.
I love a proper Dickensian disease. That's what's missing these days at Christmas. We need a bit of scurvy and smallpox, I think.
Smallpox, no.
We got the anti-vaxxers here. We're working on getting the smallpox back.
It just wouldn't be Christmas if you didn't infect some family members.
We can't just infect people with the Christmas spirit.
Yeah. Actually,
I think we should ban Santa. I mean, he goes to every fucking house. He's bound to bring disease everywhere.
Santa's
He
a petri
watches you
dish.
while you're sleeping.
Yep.
He knows when you're awake, and he knows if you've been bad or good.
Well, and
Sounds like
yeah,
a
Give
pervert
you
to me.
syphilis.
It sounds like
I
a
don't
one-off
know.
for me, Matthew.
And Sting
Sounds
wrote
like
his
you're
theme
describing
song.
Rolf Harris again.
Yeah, I don't know about this idea of calling this guy a saint. I mean, do you really think he's that saintly when he keeps a personal list of all the naughty girls in the world?
Nope.
Well, that's why he's so
I'm going to
jolly.
disappoint. Sorry, I'm going to disappoint Stu once more because it has nothing to do with apples. But one of my my other favorite little history things about Saint Nick is that originally, and it's probably never actually happened, it's a bit of a myth, but there is a legend that at the Council of Nicaea he punched someone.
Oh.
Okay, so he's
apparently
actually
he hit another.
So he was actually bad Santa then.
Yeah, apparently he socked someone with a different opinion because he didn't like him.
Okay, first of all, I would have to see any historical evidence that he was even at the Council of Nicaea.
Yeah. See, I think depending on who you're talking about, I don't know. But yeah, I know that one's one of those things that likely didn't happen. But I still like the fact that there is one of the things attributed to him is punching someone.
Saint Nicholas is actually kind of another Robin Hood character. That what we know about him is really a compilation of like 5 different saints.
most historical figures, when you're talking that far back, are like that. Most of the things that we think of, Robin Hood's a very good example of it. You tend to, just the way you tell stories, you tend to take groups and turn them into individuals who represent the groups. And so if you look at most myths and legends, it's almost exactly what happened. That's why a lot of battles will have a hero when, of course, no one person ever wins a battle. It's an army. But when you're telling that story, you don't remember everyone. So it becomes about heroic actions, and over time that gets blended. It's the way we tell stories.
And
that's why if there actually was a Jesus, something historically that relates to a Jesus, it's going to be Jesus is actually a composite figure, because there's no way that's not the case.
Now, see, I worked that out when I was like 10 years old, that Jesus had to be a composite character of like a dozen wandering preachers.
Well, especially when you look at all the different time frames he was apparently in at the same time.
Well,
I mean,
I actually came to that conclusion when I was actually still religious. But
well, that's when I was still in the Catholic Church. I came to that.
I do tend to think that there's at least one, maybe several historical figures behind it all. I don't subscribe to the whole mythicism thing, so
yeah. Can't argue with that.
Yeah, I mean,
Jesus in the Bible is about as real as Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Slayer.
Don't joke about that. He was very good at it.
In honor of our Australian friends here, I think that just for shits and giggles, for the next 48 hours, anytime you want to say Santa, instead say Rolf Harris. I think that'll be
no.
Say what?
Jeff, I think it'll be a fun game for all the family.
Okay, the Americans don't get it.
You don't need to. You don't need to.
No. It's not that they don't need to. It's that you don't want to.
Okay, the Americans have no clue what this reference is.
Good.
I didn't even hear the reference. Please provide a name.
Rolf Harris was the reference.
Okay, Rolf Harris.
Google it, Jenny. Google it.
You really shouldn't put Rolf Harris and Santa in the same sentence, even though I just did.
Okay. To be fair, Abe Lincoln was very effective. During his entire presidency, there was not one documented vampire attack in the U.S.
See?
Yeah. Yeah, see? Yeah, he was perfectly effective.
Yeah.
Now you bring up the same fact about Trump, and the libtards just won't believe you.
But I mean,
I don't know. Elon Musk is still around, and I'm pretty sure he's a vampire. So.
I don't think vampire is the word that I would use to describe him. Though he probably does the same action as other creatures.
We do have a word to describe him, and if you go to my the community tab of my channel, you might be able to vote for him if you so choose.
If there were any vampires around, I would have met them by now.
I'm
because I have had a 50-year obsession with avoiding sunlight whenever possible.
Exactly. Myself also. I haven't seen.
I'm not a huge. I know this will depress.
You're not huge.
Both of you.
No, we knew that.
Fuck you. I know this will depress many of you at this time of year, but I'm not a big fan of Elon Musk. Just going to put that out there.
I am actually shocked by this fact.
I've been telling people for a long time what he is, and I don't know if any of you have if it's ever happened to you. It accidentally happens to me, and you fall into a Twitter thread full of Muscovite people, his worshippers. It's scary as fuck.
We've gone back to Russia now, Muscovite.
It's fucking terrifying. The things they worship him like he's a fucking god. And they draw pictures of him. They draw pictures of it.
I mean, let's face it. The fans of J.K. Rowling do the same thing.
Yeah.
Elon Musk is the P.T. Barnum of the tech world.
Uh-huh.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not,
And
they're
if
not
you
gonna
see
like
the
me.
The Trump paintings and shit. Oh my god.
Oh, did you hear
I
about
actually
Trump's
thought the
trading
universe
cards?
was trying to troll me when I saw those NFTs, but then I realized there's probably some more sinister
Listen,
reason.
Can you believe it, Matthew? They sold
It's-
out like so quick too.
It's
like,
a money
Yeah, no, I'm
laundering
not
scheme.
surprised by that, and I
Well,
have the feeling that the reason they did it is that NFTs are not very well. Well, they're not actually.
it's
There's
a
no like legal
scam.
restrictions.
There's no value to them
Yes, but it's more than
whatsoever.
that. It's the fact that they're not regulated,
Yeah,
which
but
Of
they're
means
good
they're
course.
a
for money
brilliant
laundering.
way to move money around if you
Oh,
don't want
I'm
someone watching where that money goes.
no kidding. Yes, I just did the whole big thing on that and SBF and FTX and the NFT.
Yeah, but
it's
did you
horrible.
also catch the thing that the Trump trading cards were basically all pictures they pulled down off of the internet and pasted his face on?
Yep.
So
That's
now I'm wondering, does that mean that whoever actually claims to have done the artwork is now going to be under a bunch of copyright lawsuits?
Like it's even sillier because some of those things he could have legally purchased to use.
How would you play a Trump trading card game anyway?
I don't know.
I tend to know what is going on in the world because I'm a clever, and I'm just saying money laundering scheme. Just putting that out there.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I was hinting at.
That's why they don't really want crypto to get regulated. That's probably why Samuel
You know what?
Bankman's going down on all of these charges because he was trying to get us legitimized, like with the SEC and the FCC and all here in America.
Despite Claire's sexy South African accent, I tend to fall asleep the minute anybody mentions crypto because
it's a big
breaking news. It's not a real thing. It's pretend money. It's a pyramid scheme.
Well, it's a huge legal case right now I'm following. So that
Sounds like a circus puppy. Crypto the Wonder Dog.
Yeah.
It is.
Crypto was the name of
Crypto was Superman's dog, wasn't it?
He was, yeah.
So just I do want to quickly address that last comment. I'm not implying anything. I'm just bringing up that that at least in my opinion and nothing more, it's a possibility. But I'm not implying that I've seen any definitive evidence that that's the case.
We're not saying it's a scam, but it's a scam.
Well, we're not saying it, but it is listed.
Nobody with any import is watching.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
And hey, people, we've got another continent just came online.
Yeah.
Yay.
Awesome.
Yay.
What continent is this? I don't know what that means.
Oh, Sal's in South Africa.
Oh, like Claire. Claire, you found a friend.
Hey, hi. You know I'm from Jersey, though, right, Stu?
I can't understand the word you're saying. Do you want to say? Do you want to speak to the lady whose name is on, or the gentleman's name who's on screen? We will listen and not understand the word you're saying. I don't understand anything you say.
You understand cunt?
Yes, yes.
Oh yes, I'd forgotten about that. You said cunt in a really extraordinary way.
Yeah, you made me say it like 120 times during the
Did
marathon.
I? Oh my gosh, I'm a bad boy. Sorry.
No, that's okay. It was pretty funny, actually. I think we did a whole stream about it. And I don't know, Jen and I. It was good.
It was awesome.
Okay.
It was absolutely funny. Yeah.
I just want to throw this out there. If anybody knows somebody who is, a researcher in Antarctica, you have to introduce me. Because that's still been one of my goals on the internet is that if I get that, then I can say I've got a friend on every continent.
Wow. So
Antarctica's the only one I'm missing at this point.
Unfortunately, they tend to rotate the people there. So they're only there short periods, so it's actually hard.
Well, yeah, would you want to stay there very long?
There was a member of our wider group here that was a military guy down in Antarctica.
No, was there?
Yeah.
Wait, I don't think that. Oh no, you can go there as military. You just can't militarize it.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not there very long though. But there's been
Merry Christmas from Australia.
Yeah, well, the U.S. military
Yes, we've just
handles
reached it.
all the supply services for the American bases there.
Wow.
Oh yeah, you're 3 hours ahead at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, sorry.
Has Christmas just
I have
happened to people?
Yes, for
Merry Christmas.
Andrew and I, yes, we have just ticked 2.
Oh,
It's now
Merry
12
Christmas,
a.m.
you too.
Oh, dude,
It's
Merry
now
Christmas.
So yeah,
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas, everyone.
Yeah.
Cherry
Happy
Miss.
Merry
Um,
Christmas.
Mhm.
Happy Hogs Watch.
Yeah, happy Christmas, Matthew and
Wow.
Andrew.
Happy
I'm
Merry
not
and a
saying
Merry
I'm jealous,
Happy.
but fuck, that's awesome. Time zones are really stupid, but sometimes they can be sexy. And I'm genuinely happy for the cunt with the tree behind him because he's knowing Christmas time. How
Hey,
cool!
Doc, you take
That's at
care of
least
yourself.
twice. I feel so honored still.
Doc, you take care of yourself. It's still dangerous cold out there.
That's a good segue, Jenny. That helps me because that's really cool. Well done. Because Perps was talking about Antarctica, and I can't help you with finding a friend on the Antarctica, but I'm a very big fan of a famous phrase that you'll be familiar with. I say it quite often. I'm going outside. I may be gone for some time.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
I have to go give my birds some breakfast, check my garden and all that, so I gotta get going. Maybe I'll pop my head into a BMillzebub's stream later.
Mage, before you go,
Is his-
quickly before you go, don't forget to check on your DMs on Twitter because I think you might have been offered a job at Amazon.
Ah, okay.
What
Yeah.
time is BMillzebub's stream? Is it
He's starting in an hour.
in an hour? Okay.
Yep. We'll have Bub in an hour, and then Junie is starting 2 hours after Bub.
I will be on Bub's show.
Obviously.
I love having the playlist. That's great, Purple. That's gonna be very easy to put out.
You'll be happy
during the
to hear
stream.
that there were no open slots for me this year.
You can come on my panel anytime, Stu. Like
You can.
Yeah, we actually filled all the slots this year. That was the first time. It's the first time that I was not scrambling in the last couple of hours to find someone to fill 2 slots.
Still came on my panel once. It took me ages to find a flannel.
Oh. Jen, now I realize why you were saying my name. I can't believe that. Oh, Jesus. Well, that'll get clipped. Okay.
So Purple, did you ever plan on getting your channel monetized at all at any time? Because
yes, it's not going to happen.
Forget it.
I have absolutely no delusions of my channel ever getting monetized, even if I got up to 10,000 subscribers.
No, you'd be surprised. You know the kind of content I do, and I actually don't get demonetized. Like I finally got monetized this year.
Don't?
No, I don't. And you know how I talk, like terrible, horrible.
Even the one with the weird-looking creature that.
No, not even on Mayhem from the Kraken. No, and I use the F-bomb a lot.
Oh yeah, but what was the name of that creature?
Kraken. It's the Kraken.
No, the thing that looks like a penis.
Oh God, I don't know. Like,
Trump.
That would be Stool.
The thing that looks like a penis on my channel. I mean, we did a lot of duck porn, but I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I can't remember. You played a video. It was talking about this creature. It's some sort of ocean slug boyby thing, and it.
The geoduck, like the geoduck, like that big clam. No, I didn't get demonetized for that, but they did make me clip that out. They didn't like the way we were talking about it then. I don't know why.
Yep.
I wonder why that was.
And the only other time was when we did Saturday Night Live Sweaty Balls, like because NBC
that was fun.
They were nasty. But they let the Rick rolling in. Rick was cool about it. He didn't care. But no, they sent me an email and asked me stop using the word F a little bit if I'd like to stay out of the red.
I've never gotten a note from I've never gotten a note from YouTube about language or content.
Well, I asked
thing they've taken me down for is people making, copyright claims, and instead of just saying they're going to take the money, they always just take down the stream until I edit the part out.
Oh no! I mean, I've been taken out of certain countries for stuff, like, but not really. All of my streams are still up, and they're pretty. They're
I know.
pretty rank.
Folks, I'd like to wish a a Merry Christmas
Hey,
and,
Nick.
and a good morning, and thank you for stopping by to 420 Anti-Theist and Nick Suter. Hi.
Hey.
This sounds like we're going into a commercial break. Are you doing your thing, Jenny? No.
And whilst and still on that point of and at the risk of making it sound even more, I am also going to take the opportunity, just to wish everyone a Merry Christmas.
Say Rolf
and
Harris.
Happy Holidays. So that way I've pissed everyone off.
Just tell everybody that you hope that Rolf Harris
Praise
comes out their
Jesus.
chimney.
I appreciate the suggestion still, but no.
Yeah,
No.
can you
vote no.
please
Can we get the
stop
vote
with the
on-
Rolf references?
Yes.
I'll stop now because I'm slightly perturbed that people are talking about my cum inside chat. That's weird on Christmas Day.
It's weird here, isn't it? You can talk about Hitler, but you can't talk about the other guy you mentioned. Still,
Gooey duck. Okay, thank you, Andrew. Like
Gooey
I always say it wrong. It is gooey duck. Like I remember now.
That's
Thank
quite
you.
amusing, Jeff, and it's true, isn't it? We can sit here on Christmas, or the future people are on Christmas Day now, but for us lazy fuckers, it's still Christmas Eve, and it's very true. At this time of year, we can happily talk about Hitler, but we don't talk about the Rolf Harris.
Well, it's not
You don't
Christmas
mention
Day
his
for you
name.
yet.
No, it's not. It's not Christmas until Gruber falls off the tower.
It's been longer since Hitler than it has Rolf Harris.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, one of them's still alive. You see, so
Unfortunately,
yeah.
To be fair, though, I mean, an example of that is because Rolf Harris comes from WA originally. There was a we won't talk about what he actually did, but there was a hardware store up in Bassendean where he came from that Rolf had actually done murals on the walls of this hardware store. And as soon as all this stuff came up, even before the court case was happened, the guy who owned the hardware store painted over all the artwork that Rolf had done. And I'm like, why?
I
He
heard
still
about that.
did the artwork, so I don't get that. I don't get destroying works that other people do just because there might be something.
I get your point, but I'm going to disagree with you on this one, and I fear we're going to have a kerfuffle. I think Australia, Jack, because I do get your point. You don't destroy art because that's a shit thing that Hitler did. Yes, and we don't do that. However,
He didn't. He more stole art, though. To be fair, rather than destroyed it.
We'd like to do a good morning and welcome for coming to Maya Atkinson.
There are certain TV programs here in the UK country that you will never see on television ever again. Obviously, that bloke, you're not going to see any of his stuff, even though he did do some good TV.
And somebody who reckon they fix things, he'll never be on TV either.
And
he's dead.
The same applies to
but his old stuff will never reappear.
The other guy whose name we don't mention, Cigar. Jeff knows the guy. I don't
the one who reckons he fixed things.
Yeah, that's the dude. Yeah. What pisses me off mightily is that I like watching old episodes of Top of the Pops, and some of them can't be shown just because he appears briefly.
Because he presented it. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can't show the entire episode because of that, because you can't edit it. You can't like edit him out of it. It would look stupid. And
to be fair, he was worse than Rolf, though.
Oh, really?
Way worse.
No, seriously? Do you reckon, Australia, Jen?
Yeah. Funny that, hey?
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it? But he was a massive fucking.
Hey, Jeff, are you still there?
I am.
Morning, Maya.
Who's this person that lost their Twitter account yesterday that everybody was
Kate Shemirani. That was brilliant.
Who's she?
She's a former nurse turned complete anti-vax conspiracy theorist nut job. Basically at a rally compared doctors to Nazis.
Oh, so a lovely person, in other words.
She's a lunatic. She's a maniac.
Is she the one whose son went public and told everybody that his mum's a fucking lying, grifting piece of shit?
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Even her own son's announced her. Yeah.
Oh well, Elon will give her Twitter back pretty soon, won't he?
Probably.
It sounds like his.
If anybody is friends with Elon, I don't like the twat whatsoever. But I'm just saying, I would like my proper original Twitter account back. So if anybody, put in a good word for me, maybe.
You know what I like about Elon Musk? He's real easy to make jokes over.
He pretty much just is a joke, to be honest.
He's a fucking fraud. I mean, that's the answer to the question that Jeff posed to me in our secret sexy DMs the other day was about his and Claire. Can you do that laugh in English, please, Claire?
Stop it.
That's
Okay.
better. Thank you.
Oh God.
I enjoy the cunt of the year, and hopefully I can play with you people when it happens.
Yeah.
But I do firmly
just make sure you feel us up for the right time, okay?
I do. I feel strongly about this. I think Elon has won. He's genuinely the biggest fucking C word on the planet. But it is fun to laugh at.
Yeah. I think he's gonna have to go some way to beat Vladimir Putin. Actually.
Oh yeah, that's a bit of a thing, isn't it? Yeah. You're correct. My bad. I apologize. I think we should probably not forget that there's a country out there.
And if you're talking about rich people who are cunts, I mean, J.K. Rowling is up there too.
Yeah, her second year on the ballot as well.
Yeah.
It seems to be a problem with money that people will become a cunt if you give them enough money.
Yeah, that's because
I wouldn't mind testing that theory. I reckon I could.
Yeah,
I could beat the trend.
Would you like to help me test that little idea? Everybody give me and Christmas tree blocks some money, and we'll do an experiment.
So we're saying that John Richards is actually a very rich guy then.
I'm going to head off to bed now.
I'm going to head off in a few minutes too, but I'll stay a few more minutes. I will finish my drink since I did cheers everyone a Merry Christmas with it.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone have a Merry Christmas and enjoy yourselves.
Merry Christmas.
You too.
Merry Christmas.
Take care, dude.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Nice.
Yeah, see, the war on Christmas is going so poorly for us that we're even using Merry Christmas.
We are. I usually say happy.
Oh, damn, I forgot.
We've yeah, like I said, I'm the only one who stepped up to the plate this year.
Well, sometimes
I'll make up for it. Fuck Christmas.
Oh, does that mean it's going to be an angry stream, Jeff? We're gonna go have a rant.
Sometimes just to see if anybody's paying attention, I'll say Merry Christmas.
or Chrysler. Yes.
I can actually say though, I think we, like British posties, we've actually been a godsend to half the male population in Britain. Actually, all those ones who forgot to buy their wives Christmas presents have actually got a legitimate, like a great out now. So I ordered it, but those pricks at Royal Mail are on strike.
I'm having flashbacks. You've just triggered me. Just gonna say, I worked for that company for 11 years.
Look, yeah, look. We've worked for that company. Look what it's done to us.
Hey, there is a reason for the phrase "going postal."
Yeah,
yeah, there is.
Yeah,
and that's a real thing, isn't it? Because it's what's that guy called? I forget his name.
Yeah, it was. Now we've got that. Shootings are so common, people have completely forgotten about it. But
what was the guy's name? I can't remember it.
Well, only in your country, Purple. I mean, they're not common for the four of us who aren't in the US.
Can somebody remind me quickly before I get annoying? What was his name? The guy who originally went postal.
I don't remember his name.
I can't remember his fucking name. I mean, we can remember Hitler and Rolf Harris, but we can't remember that.
No. We do not want to. We do not want to give any kind of platform to these serial killers because that just makes for me.
Only encourages them.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and unfortunately,
it only encourages them.
only genocidal killers. Yeah,
how it works, Australia, Jen. Is that
it not only encourages people, but if you look at the trend of fads overall in America, I can't speak for other countries, but in America it works through the generations. That like the first guy who went postal was a guy in his late 50s, something like that, and he shot up the place and killed a bunch of people. And over the first year of mass shootings, commonly mass shootings, the age started to go lower and lower and lower, and finally now it's in grade schools.
Yeah, it's teenagers doing it now.
Cunt of the year, that guy whose name I'm not going to mention, he's a cunt, isn't he? The one who shot people and is now a grifting fucker.
Oh yeah, definitely. But we've already done the nominations, so
yeah. Unfortunately, the MAGAs are apparently spreading to Canada. So there have been a couple of shootings in Canada in the last couple
somebody
of months.
somebody needs to find the butt of Canada and inject it with penicillin.
Well, no, I think America needs to take drastic action, and we need to amputate the source of the infection, which will require cutting out several southern states.
Yeah,
you could just cut off Florida. That would
I was going to say, you're talking about amputating Florida, aren't you?
Well, Florida's the obvious one, but we'd still have Texas.
I can't say Canada's completely innocent. I mean, they did give us Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, but if you cut off Canada, wouldn't Texas just hemorrhage?
Hang on a minute. Speaking about Nazi war crimes, if you amputate Florida without its permission, that's a bad thing. You can't amputate Florida unless it signs a form. It has to, right?
Yeah, taking Florida from the Spanish was really a mistake in the first place. We should give it back to them.
If we cut off Florida, America can sing higher.
Well, I'll just say though, if you are gonna cut Florida off and cut it loose, could we at least get Kitty out of there first?
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
we don't want to cut her away.
We'd lose several people, including Kitty and Mage.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of bosoms,
what?
That was it. That's all I've got. Sorry. I just realised I've been doing this now for what an hour and some minutes, and that was the first time I've said bosoms today.
It's not the first time that bosoms has been said on the stream, though.
I'm not happy and pleased with myself right now. I've said the C word several times, and I've mentioned Hitler and the Australian guy with the wobble bud, but I didn't say bosoms. What is wrong with me?
You said boobs, though, when I said it earlier.
I didn't say boobs.
Didn't you say boobs?
No.
How did you miss saying boobs when I said boobs?
I don't know how this is occurring. What the heck? It must be the apple talk.
Have you had an aneurysm?
Yeah. He threw me off with his fucking sexy apple talk.
I think boobs happened when I brought up nipples or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, you said nipples.
Yeah, we talked about nipples for a bit.
I'm being such a good boy today. The little baby Jesus literally loves me right now.
Nipples and boobs.
You're only doing it until Santa finishes.
I have no idea what this stream's gotten into.
Yeah.
Junie should.
We all know what
I've lost
in his Christmas stockings on Christmas Eve.
Actually, Matt, while these streams are running, I keep editing the description to try and add in the topics we cover. And there was a point in there after we were talking about the King's speech that I just put, I have no idea what these foreigners are talking about.
I'm very impressed that you're doing that, because that's multitasking and you're not necessarily the best at doing that. But don't forget to mention in the description, because YouTube loves it when you do this. Don't forget to mention that we've been discussing Hitler and Rolf Harris. That'll get you views.
I try to do that. I'm not gonna go as far as actually putting timestamps in, but I try to do that so that if somebody remembers something from a stream and tries to go back and find it in a 4-hour stream later, they can at least figure it was kind of between when they were talking about this and this.
If you were doing the job properly, Perps, which you're not because you're a lazy fucker, you do chat.
I was just thinking we could have a real New Year's treat by having a Nazi Rolf Harris, and then you kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Oh, that you just got Perps baninated.
Stool, we already covered that. My channel is all about how to get subscribers while putting in the least effort possible.
I love that motto. That's a good way of thinking. I enjoy your little lesson in life you've just given us.
You know, I'm floored by it already. My original main objective when I started my YouTube channel was just to see if I could ever get 100 views on a video. I was just ecstatic about the idea that maybe 100 people would actually listen to something I said.
My biggest? That's not a word. What the fuck?
And now you find out they were just wanking to what you were saying.
My
well,
biggest.
Now, actually, one of my edited videos, the thing about the Reuben James, has over 1,000 views.
My big one
took
has
it 3 years to get there,
views.
but it's got 1,000 views.
78 fucking thousand. What the fuck?
Well, let's see. What 1,000 views is what percentage of the population of the Earth?
Hey, it's more people than live in my building, so.
You may have heard a rumor that the YouTubes are not very keen on people who break copyright rules. I've heard this rumor. The video that's on my channel has 78,000 views, and all I did was obtain the original source and present it to people, and people keep coming to look at it. And here's the thing, I've actually got permission. I'm not saying from the BBC, but I've actually got a permission to have it.
Okay. Also,
hi, Sandy.
YouTube at some point did this really weird hiccup that I still can't explain. I'm counting the Reuben James as being my most watched video, but according to YouTube, in a single day, my introduction video got 3.1 thousand views.
Wow.
Sandy, hi.
So it's like in a single day, that one thing got more views than everything on my channel combined got in 5 years.
But if you're sad, and not you, Perps, because you're lazy, but if you go into the analytics and stuff, you'll find out those views mean fuck all, because everybody gets bored after the first 5 seconds. People don't have an attention span these days.
Was that your puppy, Matt?
I'm trying to get it to work. It just did the wrong.
Actually, still.
Damn it!
My puppies aren't here at the moment because Cutley's in Albany with family, so I know puppies. Only pretty cats.
Hey, you guys, I gotta break away for a bit. I gotta go to the convenience store and get something I forgot.
Yep.
To get for this marathon here. And
while you're there, Jenny,
could
you get me some cigs, please?
Well, I was not going to mention that I'm getting SIG, so I guess I need to
okay,
now.
wrap up real good. It is brutal cold out there.
Yeah. It's only a half mile away.
Are you walking?
Well, yeah, naked too. All right, that's not true. I wear.
It's what Jesus would have wanted.
Remember, we're used to this weather. This is 20 below is no big deal.
I don't care. Even if it was that hot, I wouldn't be walking a kilometer.
You know,
no, but
Jenny's right. It's my attention.
Jenny's not going out naked. She's going to wear a hat.
Okay, Jenny is right though. In Minnesota,
you can keep your hat on.
Any day in January that's above 0 Fahrenheit, we consider a heat wave.
Although you heard that in about a week, it's supposed to hit 40 degrees.
I heard you say that. I haven't really looked it up yet.
Well, you never watch TV, so you wouldn't know.
No, I don't. I have not watched TV since about 2014.
And have you noticed how poorly informed you are?
Yep. Although, okay, I'm looking at Weather Underground now, and yeah, I see. Actually, it's saying by Wednesday we'll be up to 36.
Oh.
So we'll
Matt,
actually be above
does your
freezing
puppy
again.
know how to do the evil look?
No.
Oh, she doesn't.
All right,
You should
I'll
see
be back.
Stu's evil look. He is really good at it. You do something wrong and he turns his head away from you and just stares at you out of the corner of his eyes. It is adorable and terrifying at the same time.
Just going to point out a cultural thing here. Puppies is British slang for bosoms, so I'm loving this conversation.
That's it's not that. That slang gets used in America too. Still, I think it's something we imported.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Well,
this is why Jeff gets the big money. This is why I pay him. He's like my personal assistant, and he teaches me about the footballs.
Yeah.
As far as pets and the evil looks, I mean, cats are notorious for it. And Sloth Girl really has to watch her step because her cat Petunia has figured out that I will still go up there and take care of her litter box and give her food. So Sloth Girl is completely redundant, and the cat is ready to do her in at any moment.
This one likes people too much.
Yeah.
And yeah, although she can't take a bad photo.
Does she jump up on laps still?
She won't tend to jump on laps, but she will jump. I'm trying to get her into doing scent training. I like training her tricks. She's very clever. She's somehow figured out.
Lap and up into your arms. You can stand there and get him, and he'll jump up into you. He can jump really high.
Yeah, so this one's a cavoodle, and I know Stu, because I've met Stu as a cavoodle as well. Yeah. Very different colour, but Stu's jumped into my lap
when he was little.
Yeah, he's jumped into my lap. Cute little thing. And this one
was wonderful.
It didn't take long for him to know that if I said, "Do you want a pat?" that was basically invitation to jump on my lap, and I'll give him a scratch.
Yeah. I might have to head to bed soon so that I actually get enough sleep because I got to get up early to drive in, be with the family. So,
well, especially if you've got a long drive, you'd better get sleep.
It's not really. It's just I got to go to my sister's, my older sister's first because I accidentally left stuff at her place that I need tomorrow. So I've got to go there first, and I got to pick Mum up from the home, and then go to my other sister's so that we can have lunch. So it's one of those things. It's going to be a busy day, and it's got to start early. So
busy and shit and stressful by the sounds of it.
It won't be too bad because there's only lunchtime to worry about, and once we get Mum back to the home, I can come home.
Just to lighten the mood. I feel for you. That sounded perfect, but you know what I mean, because you kind of should be relaxing and having a bit of a good Christmas. But we have to do these things, don't we, that annoy us.
I hate Christmas. I'll just put it out there. I actually hate Christmas. It's not because I'm alone at Christmas. I don't know what being alone at Christmas is.
Just to lighten the mood temporarily. My mum died in September, so I don't have to fuck around with crazy fucking dementia people this year. So that's me lightening the mood.
Well, for me, the holiday season gets dragged out for an extra week. That my sister does Little Christmas on January 6th, so we're going to be driving back to Michigan for that.
Oh,
so I'm not done with this until next weekend. But this should be really interesting because only 3 of my family has seen me as female so far. And the party at my sister's is going to include some of our MAGA uncles and cousins.
Oh, dear.
Oh.
Hey,
I can only wish you luck.
I'll make you all a deal because Perps just almost did a funny. So in place of using the names of certain people from history, I will now say Chris Rea because Chris Rea is awesome. And I'm proud of the journey he's making. He's committed. I'm going to give him that. He's very committed. People love it.
Very good. Very good, still.
I love it.
I get the joke. Yeah.
Nobody knows
I think
what
I'm
the fuck
probably
I'm talking about, especially the young people, and that's how I like it.
Okay, I don't know if I'm getting the same joke, but just Chris, I'm sure I've got to assemble it yet, but there's something in there about backdoor service on the holiday.
What?
Hang on. Backdoor service, does that mean the same in American as what it would in Australia?
Dodgy to me, Australia.
Yeah, it's sounding dodgy to me too.
It could. Yeah, it's like double in 10.
I only got to lay down for 2 hours, and it's just sunrise now. I don't do mornings.
Okay.
You're digging the hole deeper, Perps. Please don't talk about your backdoor servicing anymore, because we're all
To be fair, didn't there used to be a thing where there used to be some service stations in the US back in the day when being gay was incredibly frowned upon, where people would go to the service station to go and use the back rooms and have gay sex. So you could have a backdoor service in one of those service stations.
I think all are summed it up nicely and precisely in side chat. I would not have been so blunt, to be honest, because I love the little baby Jesus. But yeah,
you're gonna get arrested for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in all our countries, you're going to get arrested for that.
Even in Antarctica.
Probably. Yes.
Probably, yeah.
Well, the biggest part of Antarctica falls under Australian jurisdiction, so yes.
Yes.
Have you stolen Antarctica?
Yes.
You absolute cunt. That's our job. We steal the shit, not you.
We learned from you. Remember, you were saying earlier that we're very good at taking what you do and doing it better.
We didn't fuck it up as badly as you did, though.
That's very true. Yeah.
And let's face it, everywhere in the world where the UK has gone into, invaded, taken control of, and then left, they've fucked up.
This is immensely true, and I'm not proud of this. I wasn't personally responsible for any of that shit.
You're not a colonizer.
No, I'm not saying you were. The British government is responsible for this. What was your standard plan? Go into a country, invade it, and then split it in two, so the two halves of the country will continue.
I can't understand the word you're saying, but I will colonize you later, okay?
The single most celebrated holiday. The single most celebrated holiday in the world, celebrated in more countries and in more different languages than anything else, is freedom from England.
That's a true thing.
Yeah.
And technically, I guess you could say that I'm also celebrating that because I'm not in the England anymore.
No.
Fair enough, it's a country where people bomb you, but what the fuck? Merry Christmas.
Oh. Well.
Again, no, that's kind of like something kind of our fault, though, again.
Yeah, kind of. No.
That still is not in England.
Everything, what goes around comes around. So I'm not a fan of the Great Britain by any means. We've done some really cunty shit throughout history. And it's shocking, the shit that we've done.
Yeah,
it really is.
But
well, get that book. 52 times Britain was a bell end.
To be fair, you weren't any better than any of the other imperial people, like the Spanish. And
yeah, well, you keep losing them.
I would argue the British were probably better than the Spanish and the French.
Yeah.
If you look at
history,
the Spanish were probably the worst, particularly if you look at what they did in the Americas. Although that was.
Are you saying that the Spanish were more cunty than the British? Because
I think the Belgians. I think the Belgians with what they did in the Congo were up there, though.
I mean, Britain.
Yeah, but that wasn't technically the Belgians. That was their king, because Belgium didn't actually own the land. The king did, because some weird treaty stuff. Which is, I know I'm exciting everyone way too much for this. King Leopold. They weren't.
And I'm going to head
but
to
that
bed
wasn't any better than.
So.
Yes, I will probably also take this opportunity to head off because it is quite early and I have a big day tomorrow.
And Merry Christmas to everyone.
Yep.
Happy holidays.
I got a hot date coming up in a little bit. Anyway, it's so I won't be hanging around too long.
Oh, okay, now I'm losing all of you at once.
Yeah. Well, I'll hang around for a bit longer.
It's half an hour here.
Yeah, it's a date with it's a date with a pint of Guinness.
Oh,
yeah. It's pints of Guinness in one hand, the knob in the other. I know what you commie posties are like. I know what you're up to, dude.
Okay, see, the problem England's having is England has been losing all their colonies. The U.S. has still saved most of their colonies into the current day.
So far.
You know, we still have Guam and Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands.
And Texas and Texas and Utah and California and New Mexico and
but I'm talking about the ones that we won't acknowledge as actually having any independence. You know, they'll never be states. We're just going to control them.
Yeah, there's a bit of interesting history behind some of them, but well, I use the word interesting fairly loosely, but I am going to say a Merry Christmas and to all a good night because it is nighttime here and I will have to jump as well.
Yep.
Okay,
so, yes.
Yeah, get some sleep.
Happy holidays.
And I will see you all in less than 24 hours for when I'm running one of these.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
fuck, are you running one of these things?
What time is your stream here again?
No.
I believe it was the 8 p.m. my time. Sorry, 7. I think 7 p.m. my time. I have set it up.
Actually, I had it as. Oh, okay, yeah. It's 8 a.m. for the UK time. It's 2
you're on. So you're on before me. You're on before me, ain't you, Matt?
Yep, I'm on before Jeff.
Yep.
I've put you in the description as the next one, and I'll add a bit more to it. But yes, I'm doing.
That reminds me. Actually, has Navadia got her stream up yet, so I can actually link it?
No, she has not sent me a link yet.
Okay, I looked earlier. She still hadn't. So.
Yeah, there's a couple of people who still have not provided links.
I will be doing mainly be doing Q&A. Specifically, I want to do science Q&A. So if anyone has questions, make sure to bring them. Okay. I will answer any question as long as it is scientific. However, the language on my channel is not quite as loose as here because science, but but as I said, as long as you can make your question scientific, I will have a go at answering it.
We know you're into the old scientism there, Matt. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Yeah. I did.
This feels to me like a challenge. What time are you on?
Uh-oh.
Well, you know,
I'm not sure what time it is your time, but I'm on before Jeff, so I believe. Sorry, it's too late.
No, he's on at 8 a.m. UK time.
Me and Claire will come along and we'll ask you very serious science questions, and I'll interpret for you so that you can understand her language.
Well, I'm sure you can take the whole hour trying to explain that thing about if we evolved from monkeys, why are there still monkeys? And you still won't get any of them to get it.
I've never heard that question before.
I'm a physical chemist, so I will.
I'm gonna look up laser questions.
So if it's got a laser in it, I'm happy.
I know.
May's doing Latin. May's doing Latin. Well done, Maya.
So you will tell us about what the chemical differences are between monkeys and humans?
I have actually done some biochemistry, although at least organic chemistry. So I could potentially tell you about a few, but I would probably have to go look a few things up first. However, I will bid everyone farewell for the moment. And yes, until then, you have your time to come up with whatever questions you want to ask. And so for those of you who are around then, I'll see you then. If not,
a challenge.
Have a good one.
I love a challenge.
Yeah. You've definitely you've opened the door here now, Matt, for a stall. You do know this.
I love it when a slot opens. I just glide swiftly into that slot and I go for it. Just saying.
I have nothing to say to that.
I'm so jealous of you living in the future. I want to live in the future like you do. Does it smell different in the future?
Vaguely. Smells a little more
future,
closer to the world's end.
Piney?
But oh well.
Does it smell of biscuits?
No.
And tea.
Biscuits and tea.
Biscuits and tea. Yep.
Oh fuck! I want to live in the future.
Anyway, I'll see you all later then.
Have a good one, Matthew.
See you, Matt.
Yeah.
See ya.
Absolute pleasure. Take care, you fuckface.
Okay.
Oh,
Yep. And we have BMillzebub in the side chat.
Hello,
And he is
Beelzebub.
going to be taking over and carrying the stream through the next segment in 20 minutes.
I'm not saying I've got a big ego, but I do feel better now that I'm bigger on screen. Just saying that.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah. I'm just. Here's how it works. When Claire speaks, I just say yes and nod my head. I have no idea what the fuck she's saying.
What is that? Like,
Yeah.
just good. Just agree. Just agree.
Okay. Actually, Stool had to move to Ireland because England was not big enough for both him and Phoebe's ego.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's
Well. I mean, to be honest, it's. I mean, you know, Phoebe's ego might be pushing me out before long as well. So.
Well, it does keep growing the more people who subscribe to her channel. So.
Yeah, I might have to unsubscribe if it gets any bigger. So you know.
This is like a fucking script from Mrs. Brown, boys. Stop being smutty and stop doing double entendres. It's Christmas. The little baby Jesus does not like this talk of all this filth.
Doodle entendres. Doodle? What?
Double.
Oh, double.
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 Why can't she understand English? Can we have captions on the screen? Just to avoid
closed captions.
misunderstandings.
We should.
That's actually a feature now, isn't it? I think StreamYard does it. YouTube obviously does it, but they can have the live.
They do.
You know. Yeah, can we make that happen? Because I don't want to. All I'm hearing from Claire is, I have some emeralds and some fish. That's all I hear.
Oh, I didn't say either of those, but hey. Well, I don't like fish.
37 and 2 teaspoons. Thank you, Claire.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
Slightly slippy, but I didn't fall down. I have to make a journey at some point on this day to the shop, but I don't know when I can do it because I'm still wait. They won't tell me what time the strange lady who may or may not be an axe murderer, I don't know, is going to knock on my door and bring me food.
Well,
so,
don't they send it like on the app? Don't they send it to your phone? Like, yeah.
No, I'm not a poor person. I am a poor person. No, this random person is bringing me food.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a weird thing. Let's not dwell on this.
Yeah.
Hello, Nacho.
Oh, hey, we do have Nacho here. Yeah, I was looking in another tab here on the schedule. Long time no see, mate.
At some point, Nacho, hi. At some point, I will be eating food in somebody else's stream. That's just how it's going to happen. I promised Dr. Ben that I would eat cake with him, but I haven't got the correct cake, so I'll probably have to eat Christmas pudding and maybe some turkey and all that shit. I don't know.
I'll tell you now. Around 6 o'clock this morning, whilst I was stood out on the picket line, I was having mulled wine and mince pies.
Ooh.
I mean, which is that's the cornerstone of any nutritious breakfast.
Yeah,
I think so. Mulled wine. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Amber, this is why they've sent a lady to check in on Stool. You know, because they knew they couldn't leave him alone for that long.
Stop telling people that I'm a useless piece of shit, Perps.
No, I think you're a very useful piece of shit.
Thank you.
Why? Hmm. I want to ask. I want to ask about the apples, but what's with the apples? Do I have to like research everything about apples for my stream now?
No, we don't need to research this because one of Perp's prior guests explained the science of apples. So
okay, all right.
Also, I thought it was a Christmas bauble, so fuck off.
Oh,
my eyes are shit.
It's a sugar. It looks like a frosted apple.
It is an apple, yeah, but it looks nice.
Since it's frosted like that, that does make it a Christmas bauble. You were right.
Well, actually, those are very, very typical for Nordic and Scandinavian Christmas trees.
Yeah,
it's the frosted apples with ornaments.
Frosted fruit was a common decoration for the trees, so that is a Christmas bauble.
Well, that's actually where the Christmas tree started from. Is that they would hang. They would hang fruit and bits of food, mostly the fruit that was going bad. They would hang it on the trees outside around the village because it kept the animals close to the village in winter. It made hunting easier if the deer came right up to your door.
It does, yeah.
I think it gives the hint of Christmassy without offending anybody.
Yep.
It does, especially with the cords and the lights all behind it. No, I agree.
Oh, that's not a cord. That's some kind of worm coming out of the apple.
What? No, it's not. It's like a light filament I could see on the other side. Wait. Now I'm getting confused. Okay, I think I need more.
Yeah, you are confused. You don't fill a mint. Mint is what you use to fill the chocolate.
No, filament.
Everybody's looking at my apple and talking
You're going to help
about
them.
it.
Oh my gosh. No, filament.
Stop
like
looking
a
at
fiber.
my apple now.
Stop looking. Well, it's hanging out there so big and frosty. How can we not look at your apple?
I understood those
No,
words.
if it's frosty and it's hanging out, it's not going to be big. I'll tell you that.
It's going to be blue. Anyway.
They're going to shrivel up then.
Uh-oh.
See, actually, I was just thinking about it. See, with our little, it's pity still didn't make it to the nomination ceremony because I just realised that Professor Ferrari didn't even get brought up.
No.
Oh,
as a
fucking
candidate.
You know the
Yeah,
problem is,
and I know Stool would have thought about it. Would have said, yeah, put him on the list.
The problem is with the Cunt of the Year awards, it's that most of my cunts are British, and so it doesn't go down too well with your wide international audience. Because my cunt watching, did I just say that? My cunt watching. I did fucking say it. Yeah.
I think you can get arrested for that too.
Okay, we knew all about that. How many times has he gone on about the Merkins?
Yes. Oh.
And every time he says that, I have to pause for a minute and make sure I got the pronunciation right. That he said Merkin and not Merkin.
Mm-hmm.
That he's not talking about MAGA people.
I thought he said American.
There's actually a Twitter thread. I can't remember who started it. It was probably that cunt inside chat. Cupcake. I don't know who started it, but there's a thread on Twitter now about Merkins and me, because apparently that's what I'm known for. When I die, that'll be what I'm famous for.
Mm-hmm.
My love of Merkins. Don't clip any of this fucking shit.
I don't know, but Amiga Nuts has a request for you in the chat. Like,
That's not happening, Nuts, you fucking weird pervert.
what? Come on. You know what? And it's been seconded because Clara Microraptor said the same thing.
Maybe later in the day. Maybe later in the day I will do requests. Hang on a moment. I'm now having flashbacks, Claire, you naughty South African.
Jeez. Well, you know.
I do now remember that I made you say the C word many times.
Many times.
Yeah, I gotta say, the pleasure you were getting out of it still was a bit disturbing.
It
was.
My
bad. Sorry.
They separated us on stream. They was like worry.
Oh, I'm a bad boy.
But we missed you. We missed you at the nominations because
Orla, if you're having issues being weird, just stay around and we'll teach you how to do it.
As this day and the following day progress, I can't believe that the Australians are in the future. Really
I got a feeling the guy I'm lobbying for isn't going to win, though. So.
No,
John. I've got a feeling John Richards won't quite cut it, and Matt Powell will win.
You see,
I think Matt Powell might.
Most of your cunts are basically internet cunts who most people will never have heard of.
This is why we do like a couple of categories here. Like so the internet ones get their chance, and. To be fair, there's quite a few impressive ones who didn't quite make the cut this year, weren't there, Claire? I mean,
well,
and Andrew Tate didn't quite make it.
Well, because he did all this stuff, and it's like he didn't really do anything. It's just like his whole thing.
Well,
he didn't really say anything or enough. Did he? I mean, he got canceled and he came back, and I don't know.
But Jeff, you're just lucky that you don't live in the U.S. because otherwise that award would be impossible, considering we've got several hundred candidates who are sitting members of Congress.
Exactly.
Our parliament's got quite a few. Don't you worry about that. In fact, I didn't even think about that. That blooming Tory MP who says people can live on 30p a day. That's
have you any idea how much restraint?
That's funny that you say that, Purple, because while we were doing the nominations, we all three agreed that would be an exception because that's just a given that they're the C word, like all of them. Like we just left politicians out of it, didn't we? Jeff, we were like, there's too many.
With the exception of Vladimir Putin, I suppose. But.
Well, true, but there's like he's a warmonger though. We decided more than he was a politician, so we and it was more the event. But except for there was too many. Yeah,
I'm having regrets now that I missed the nominations.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, Jeff, I was looking for the video of the nominations and I didn't see it.
It's on the community. It's on my community tab.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Do you want to throw a link to it in the side chat there so people can check it out?
I'm on my phone at the moment, mate. So I don't know that I can at the moment.
Yeah, Claire, you're right. He was being an asshole, but just not in a standout way. It was like same old, running that MLN and all that other stuff. Like it was.
Oh, is that Donald?
No, on Andrew Tate. She says, like I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
He was just an asshole, but not being an asshole in any standout kind of way. Like he didn't do one thing that we could talk about. It's just his thing.
It's just on the grounds of him being Andrew Tate.
Yeah, misogynistic incel,
King incel, yeah.
Yeah, king alpha male, little penis syndrome, dude. What can I tell you?
We need a breaking news ticker, Perps, because I'm basically doing your job for you here because you're lazy. So inside chat, Greggy Poos is definitely in the Christmas spirit because he just used the C word. Would you believe?
Oh, we spilled it. Spilled it out. Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's the link to Jeff's community tab where you can cast your votes.
I just love you, Purple.
Yeah, there's several categories. If I'm going to be a little biased here on the community one, please, I want John. I know Matt Powell deserves it, but I want John Richards to win because
there are so many good candidates, though.
I mean, to be honest, though, Matt Powell and John Richards probably are the standouts, actually.
You're gonna make me go out and petition for Elon, aren't you? Like, I want people to win too. Like, we're gonna have the.
Well, you can petition for Elon. I mean, Elon doesn't fit in the category. I do say though, I do think though we're going to have to, if Vladimir Putin wins, we're going to have to reach out to Operator Starsky and ask him if he wants to present that award.
Oh, I could. Yes, we are. That would be wonderful.
How did Elon not get a nomination?
No, he's on the nomination. But he's on international instead of local.
Yeah.
He's saying he wasn't in the local community. He was in the local community tab. We have like 3 different categories. We added one.
Yeah.
I'll be very offended and I will cry if Elon doesn't get.
You're going to have to help me petition Twitter to have them all vote for him on Jeff's channel.
Well, I mean, you know, Elon took over Twitter, and not only did he make it worse, we knew that was going to happen.
That's why it's not. That's why the poll's not on Twitter.
Yeah, but the astounding speed he accomplished it with.
Yes, and he's still doing it. He's still doing it. I had a couple of conversations about this on my channel already, Stu, that you might find amusing. I went with Chris and I had a nice conversation about it from Hereticals because he was like very pro Elon, and I'm like, wait a minute,
quite pro.
Wait a minute,
he quite likes Elon, doesn't he?
Yes,
my God,
yeah, but it wasn't a fight or anything. It was actually a very constructive.
I do not understand these people. It's a cult. It really is. It's a cult, and it's dangerous because he's a fucking fraud.
Well, and actually, I think part of his current popularity is I think that people who are finally being forced to admit what a fraud Trump is, were just looking for somebody else to latch on to.
Yeah. Well, yeah, richer, more successful.
That's a
anyway,
true thing.
But just as entitled. Yeah.
That's a very true thing because there are humans on this planet who seem to want to be conned. They want somebody to scam them.
Well,
Trump supporters, Elon fans, the
whole thing with Trump supporters and the whole Republican base is that somehow they are still delusional enough to believe that if they get the immigrants out of the way, they will become millionaires.
Yeah, that's a thing in this country now, isn't it, Jeff?
Yeah.
I'm so sick about dinghies, for fuck's sake. I'm not going to rant, it's Christmas, but I'm so sick and tired of hearing how Britain is being invaded.
Well, it's like that old joke, isn't there? There's a capitalist, an asylum seeker, and a Daily Mail reader, all sitting in the waiting room for their appointment. And someone brings out a tray of biscuits. And there's 10 biscuits on this tray. The capitalist takes 9 of them, turns around to the Daily Mail reader and says, "Watch out for that! Watch out for that bloody asylum seeker. He's after your biscuit."
Yep.
Yeah. You've just pretty much summed up the Daily Mail, obviously, and the UK right now. I'm not a fan of the UK, and I make no secret of this. You all know this. I don't like what it's turned into. I really don't. It's turned into these cunts are copying America for fuck's sake, and the shit that America doesn't work here, but they're still doing it. Lawrence Fox, Jeff. Lawrence Fox.
Oh God.
Yeah, he's a cunt.
Okay,
Lawrence Fox is now copying American things.
Hold on, we're coming up on Purple's time here, aren't we?
Yeah,
Bob is going to be starting in less than 2 minutes, so we need to finish up here.
Yes, it was fun.
Okay, did anybody have any final words?
Yeah, just looking forward to the rest of this. This has always been a great opportunity, Purple.
Yeah.
Give big props for another year, 5th year running, and looking forward to all the different streams.
Okay, and actually, I should have been throwing this out there before, but for everybody watching, here's a playlist that has the links to most of the streams.
What I did is tagged all the channels of everybody I knew that was putting one out that I.
Do you think it might be a good idea to add a little note to say Stool will not be streaming because
Not what? You won't be streaming? No? You're not
well,
going to
this
come
is
visit?
no, I couldn't.
just for anybody who has to go and
I
do
couldn't do the
something else or
software.
sleep for a while. You can
Mhm.
come back and go to that playlist, and it'll tell you who's currently on.
Yeah. That's a great idea. That's a great
I've
one.
just noticed that Beck is inside chat. Sorry, Beck. Hi, happy Christmas.
Beck has
Eve.
been here the whole time.
I
Yes.
didn't fucking notice. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna raise my glass of
Yeah, Beck
pretend
came in
water
like
to
15
Beck.
minutes after we started.
Oh, I am really shit. Sorry.
Mm.
I'm going to raise a cheeky glass to Beck because Beck bought me a nice Christmas gift, birthday gift, sorry, back in July. So I've got time for Beck. Not in a pervy way.
Well, and we'll see you all like on other streams.
Okay, yeah, I'm just going to drop Bub's stream in the side chat there, and then everybody can jump over to his channel.
Yes, everybody go over to the Bubs now.
I get slightly confused with the names because some of the names on your list I'm not familiar with. So I'm not sure if any of them are my characters or not.
Well, you can ask me for anybody you're not familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to repeat them. So 20 fucking 20.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Approximately, Beck. Was it approximately 76 seconds? And more importantly, was it a metric 76 seconds?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. These things are important.
Mm.
Click to enlarge. I don't know why Beck is doing that. I don't click things that Beck tells me to click.
Okay, I wish it was that easy, It's like I say, my nipples won't go down. I've been clicking them for a year. They're not really enlarging.
I think that should be the motto of the day, to be honest. Click to enlarge. I like it. It's got a nice ring to it.
Okay. Well, let's all jump over to Bub's channel now. So
Yep, we'll do that. I'll see you all over there.
Yep. Bye-bye all.
Bye-bye, humans.
Bye all.
See ya.
Have a good one. Bye.